Welcome back, guys. Sorry about that delay. Was on the phone with Peaches. They've been having a hell of a morning at the women's retreat. There's been a whole lot of stupid shit happening over there today. We had the gate guy didn't inform everyone that came through the gate about the parking situation, and there was issue with cars and shit. So I was getting an update on it. This is a public live stream, guys. I know it's Saturday. I don't expect there to be a whole lot of people here, but you can share the live. Let's try to get these numbers up and get people interacting. Also, I have set the alerts through OBS so that if somebody sends a super chat, it should pop up on the screen. So if somebody could just send me like $2, I need $2, man, just so that I can make sure the alert's working, that would be great. $1.99, I don't know, just something so that I can see if the thing pops up. I'm going to be doing some more of the Am I the Asshole petty content from yesterday that we were doing on Patreon because that shit was a lot of fun, and I'm ready for it. Also, second energy drink for the day. We're going. This one's called Strawbango. Strawbango. What a fucking name. Strawberry, banana, mango. Member did not work. Happy Saturday, Chris. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you for becoming a sponsor. That one I don't have turned on. Okay, there we go. There was a super chat. Let's see if that worked. It does not appear to be working. Son of a bitch. I know Stream Elements is on because I can see it leaving notifications. Oh, man. Give me a second, guys. Because those, I can see that they're there. They should be showing up on the screen, and they are not. Yep, it doesn't seem to be working. I thought I had that set up so that as you guys sent super chats, it would put your name on the screen. It used to work. I don't understand why it's not now. Have I ever mentioned how much technology loves Chris? It does not love me at all. Things that should just be simple, push the button, copy this code, and it work. It don't work. And I don't understand why, because I can see my whole shit up here. Fit to screen. Snapping. Emulate. Super chat. That should have worked. And it did not. Try this one more time and then I'm going to give up for now. Yep, not working. Oh well. I tried. Go back to YouTube. Pull this thing back up. It's always something. Yes, it is. When it comes to me and technology, it fucking is always something. It's half hidden on the side. So wait a minute. You saw it then. Hang on. Super chat. I'm not seeing it on my screen. Are you seeing it on yours? Because if that's the case, I can just move the shit. Let me emulate it again. I'm not seeing anything pop up. It was peeking in. Let's go this way. I know this is not entertaining, but bear with me, guys. I'm not seeing... Oh, there it is. There it is. All right. It's on the screen. But did you do it 3 times? OG's third time's a charm. All right. Now I just got to figure out where to move it because I got it. I got it on the screen. Got it on the screen. Fuck yeah, technology. Eat a dick, bitch. We doing this shit. All right. Let me save that. See if that's in a better position because I don't want it to be in a bad spot. Emulate. Super chat. Why didn't it work? Super chat. Come on, dude. All right, I think I moved it too far off the screen now. Oh, why does this have to be such a pain in the dick? Now it's not showing up again. There it is. Okay, wait. Maybe that was the one that somebody did earlier. Is there a delay? I don't know what's happening. I just want this to work. Oh, that's all delayed showing up on the YouTube stream. OBS never just does what I want it to do, guys. It's always a process. I wonder if I moved it too far down and it's off the screen now. Okay, I can see it in the corner there. Okay, so it needs to go this way. I'm sorry that this is a pain in the ass, guys. Please just bear with me. Okay, that was Halen. Okay, so I got that. Now I just need to go down and to the right just a little bit. And then up just a little bit. Okay. I'll have to fix the text and shit later, but getting it on the right spot on the screen is what matters. I don't care that it looks like shit right now. I just want it to be on the screen where it's supposed to be. It needs to go to the left just a little bit more. There it is. Good enough. All right, I can close all this out now. All right. Well, I mean, it's there. I still got to go in and fix the chat and the text and all that shit, but I can do that when we're not live so that I can get it right. But there it is. We have the thing now. So if you guys send super chats or you subscribe to the channel, we should get notifications for it. So that's a plus. Boom. Yep. I just got to fix the box or like suppress the squish the chat. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. So we're going to be doing some Am I the Asshole shit today, guys, because yesterday I had a whole lot of fun doing it. Is this Voice of the Broken? This is not. This is going to be me doing Am I the Asshole or whatever Reddit content because this is fun. Oh, man. Chris, one of the things that you had posted this morning has already been deleted. All right. David Brooks said, watched your video about intimacy and our wives feeling safe. I've read your books. I apply the principles. I work on myself daily. I feel like a ghost. I don't want to beg for love and affection. Have you done a check-in? Have you sat down with her and tried to figure out what it is that she needs from you to reclaim intimacy? All right, this first, guys, if you want me to interact with the chat, super chats are guaranteed to get me to do so. Otherwise, I'm going to read this and just kind of look over when I can. This first one's called, "Am I the asshole for leaving my cousin and her kids stranded after her son almost caused a serious accident?" Fun fact, I have left somebody before, like actually in the middle of the ghetto, not in a good neighborhood, somewhere that they should not have been. All right, my cousin has a 10-year-old son, no dad in the picture. I've been like an uncle to this kid his whole life. Drove them places, helped with bills sometimes, took him out to do fun stuff when she couldn't afford it. I've always been there for them. This kid has always been wild, not in a cute, energetic way, but in a way that makes you nervous. I've told my cousin so many times that she needs to get him checked out. His teachers have said the same thing. She always refuses. She says he's just a boy being a boy and everyone needs to stop labeling kids. Last week, I was driving them to the mall. We were on the main road going about 50 when this kid suddenly unbuckles himself, leans into the front seat and grabs my face, like full on, hands over my eyes while I'm driving. I swerved. I almost hit someone in the next lane, managed to pull over without crashing, but I was shaking. My hands wouldn't stop trembling. I kept thinking about what could have happened. My cousin was giggling. Actually thought it was hilarious, told me to calm down and that he was just messing around. I told them both to get out. She tried to say I was being ridiculous, but I just stared at her until they got out and I drove off. Am I the asshole? Nope. You're not. You are not the asshole. You are the cause and effect. You are karma in real time. The only thing that I think you should have done better is when you pulled over, you should have pulled out your belt and beat the shit out that kid. Just fucking, what is wrong with people, guys? This is what happens when you don't discipline your kids and you gentle parent too gentle. This is one of those things that should have never been the case. And I 100% blame the mother for this. She should have been the one to get the belt, not the kid. Yep. Fucking wild. Absolutely wild. What would you have done, chat? Would you have kicked him out or would you have taken him home? All right, next one is called, "Am I the asshole for abandoning my boyfriend in SF after he made us lose an escape room?" I'm assuming that means San Francisco. Abandoning my boyfriend in San Francisco after he made us lose an escape room. Oh man, are you just like one of those really hyper competitive person? Like how does that even go about? Like how do you Hey guys, I'm a longtime fan of Am I the Asshole stories, mostly on TikTok, to be honest. But I recently got into Reddit for real over this past year, and I'm quite enjoying following the stories in real time. Anyways, the situation happened this past Tuesday, and I'm still wondering if I'm wrong in this situation, and I thought, why not ask the Reddit community for some advice? On Tuesday, I, 20 female, and my boyfriend, 20 male, took a trip to SF for a day out before we had to go back to school next week. He drove us there, and we had planned to get food as well as do some activities that we saw on TikTok and looked fun. One of these activities was escape room, something we had done before and wanted to do for a long time at this particular location. First, on the day of, he arrived 30 minutes later than discussed to pick me up to start heading to SF. That's a problem for me. Your boyfriend has no time management. That's a huge issue. Total lack of discipline. I was a little annoyed because of traffic, but didn't say anything as I didn't want to make a huge deal of it. However, this led me to the next issue, which was the windows. I am a very girly person and I enjoy getting ready and doing my hair for nice outings because it's a good look. Feel good concept. On the way there, he had the windows, which was fine on the streets. I'm guessing maybe she meant to say we had the windows down. But once we got on the freeway, the speed and having both of the front windows down caused my hair to whip around everywhere, ruining it. This really annoyed me because my hair is very thick and long, and I have a lot of it. Adding to the fact that it was curled made it get all tangled, and it just didn't look good anymore. Then when we finally got to San Francisco, SF, and made it to the room, it was a disaster. Anyone who knows me knows I'm very serious about escape rooms and do have a lot of experience with them. Could you imagine getting mad over an escape room? Like, I'm 20. She's 20. He's 20. This shows your maturity. This shows everything that I need to know about your maturity level. I'm very serious about escape rooms. Shut the fuck up. You could have just left that out of there. You just made yourself look like a twat. My boyfriend was introduced to them through me, and he has also expressed interest that I wouldn't say we were on the same level. It was good. It was going good until the end when we needed to open one last lock. I had figured out the puzzle and was telling him to put in a certain code. However, he insisted that he had figured out something else that was correct. We were in the last couple of minutes, and I will admit I was stressing out, but I trusted him to let him do his thing. However, the code was wrong, and we did not end up escaping. Our game master came in at the end to ask our opinion. I asked what the correct code was, and he confirmed that the answer I had told my boyfriend was indeed correct. So you petty spaghetti. As we were leaving, I couldn't help but feel upset that he had not listened to me. I guess he could tell because at some point he asked what was wrong, and I don't know why, but I just exploded. I was yelling about how hurt I was that he never listens to me, that we would have won if he wasn't so stubborn. You guys really think that this is something worth yelling over? Even more so, do you guys think that it's a good idea to raise your voice and scream and yell at your partner? What do you think that's going to serve? What you were trying to do was punish him. You were trying to belittle him and embarrass him in a public situation when he was trying to figure out what was wrong. And instead of simply having a conversation, you decided to try to mother him. And this is why men don't talk to women. You're the reason. 20-year-old. He immediately got defensive and said it was just a game. I said, miss me, because he knows how serious I take escape rooms. I would have left you. You would have been on the side of the road with the previous one, with the kid who put the eyes over the hands over the eyes. You could be hanging out with them. You said, miss me, because he knows how serious I take escape rooms. And he replied, you sound like your mom. You always have something to say. At this, I was livid because he brought my mom into the conversation for no reason. And honestly, no one should ever talk about another's mom. You were treating him like a mom. The fuck did you think was going to happen? You crossed a boundary by screaming and yelling and didn't like his response because he one-upped you without getting shitty? I ended up walking away and just stepping outside to hit my pin when I realized that I had his keys in my purse because he asked me to hold them during the escape room. I honestly didn't even want to talk to him, and since he felt he needed to disrespect my family, I would be petty, so I took his car, leaving him at the cafe. We ended up walking to about a block away. Since then, he won't stop calling me an asshole, even getting his friends involved. So I just wanted to say, am I the asshole? Yeah, and you're technically a car thief. I would, hello from Northport. We're in Northport. Well, I'm technically Port Charlotte, but what's up? I would, I gotta be honest, I would ruin your life over that. I would put a whole lot of your information out into the world over your petty behavior. I wouldn't actually do that because I'm better than that, but I would 100% not be fucking with you after something like that. You're a 20-year-old woman who's technically a woman now. You're an adult, but you're acting like a 12-year-old. You also needed to get spanked as a kid. Everybody just needs to be spanked, apparently, and not in a fun way. All right, next one's called, would I be the asshole for being honest with my girlfriend about how I feel about her son after she admitted she doesn't love my daughter? So now this is the day of petty spaghetti, guys. The day of petty spaghetti. I would have reported it stolen if I was him. Cops called immediately. 100% would have filed a stolen car report. Was the first one removed? It was. That was the one that was removed. Okay, my girlfriend and I have been together for about 3 years. She has a son who's 8 from a previous relationship. I have a daughter who's 6 from mine. We moved in together about a year ago and have been talking about getting engaged. Don't do it. A few weeks ago, she made a comment that really bothered me. She said something like, your daughter isn't my responsibility. She's yours. I didn't respond at the time, but it's been sitting with me ever since. I don't need to hear anything more than that to let you know that this is not somebody that you need to be with. This is one of those things that, like, you have now wasted 3 years of your life. You are not currently engaged, even though you have talked about it, and you want to bring this woman into your life to potentially be a bonus parent to your child, and she just told you she's not her responsibility, she's yours. You don't want to help me? Get the fuck out. I'm willing to step in and be a father to this young man the way that a father needs to be there and to be a role model and to do these things. And when I need you to step up and help me, or to just fill a role that is there in our home, you're not willing to do that? Bye, bitch. Bye, Felicia. I need to borrow some ketchup. Nope. Last night we were talking and she asked me Last night we were talking and she asked me point blank if I loved her son. I said, yes, I do. She pushed and asked if I loved him as much as my own daughter. I hesitated and she noticed. Here's the thing. I do love her son. I've been in his life for years now. I pick him up from school, help with homework, take him to his stuff. But if I'm being completely honest, it's not the exact same as what I feel for my daughter. I don't know if that's wrong, but it's true. That's not wrong. That's normal. You will never love somebody else's children the way that you love your biological because you brought that child into the world or helped create it. It's not the same. I absolutely love my bonus kids. Would do anything for them, but it's not the same. It will never be the same. I don't care what anybody says. Yes, I love those kids. It's not the same thing. If you say that it is and you love them the exact same and it's equal, you're full of shit. You are a liar. Just be honest. Nobody's going to judge you for it. Well, people like you that would judge me for saying that would probably judge you for that, but fuck them, right? So before I answered, I asked her the same question. Do you love my daughter? She paused and said, not really. I asked if she loved me and she said, I think so. I was kind of floored. I've been pouring myself into this family thinking we were building something real, and she's telling me she doesn't love my kid and isn't even sure about me. I also don't know if I even want to stay in this relationship after she said what she said, but I feel stuck because our lives are pretty intertwined at this point. Will I be the asshole for telling her the truth about how I feel? The real question is why would you care if you're the asshole about being honest about your feelings? Why would you stay in a situation where somebody just told you that you are in love with them and they don't know if they're in love with you? You are nothing more to this woman at this point than a bookmark and a provider. You are helping her raise a boy that is not yours, trying to do the right thing. She doesn't care for your kid and she doesn't know that she loves you. You are being used. Fuck off. Crazy to me that people put this kind of shit on the internet. This next one's called, I was obviously inspired by this group and finally had a good comeback at the right time. Oh man, I'm here for this. I love good comebacks. I have an aunt who is insufferable. Good word. Since there was a fallout between my mom and her some years ago, we don't actually meet very often, and we are mostly no contact. But there are still some important family get-togethers where we unfortunately meet. Usually, I try to avoid her if possible, as she's judgmental and compares everyone to her daughter, who married a millionaire and is obviously extremely well off. This comparing is weird. Everyone feels annoyed and even straight pissed off about it. I don't know why they'd be pissed off about it. Maybe why not just tell her to shut the fuck up? Be like, your daughter married into money. That doesn't mean anything. She has no real accomplishments. And you have no real accomplishments by birthing her because the only thing that she was able to do with her life was marry into money. But honestly, don't retaliate, as it's pretty useless to argue with some old hag who has obvious mental health issues as well. In the end of December, we met at a cousin's wedding. The event was beautiful, held in a winter garden. I don't know if that's the correct term in English, something similar to a palm house and a botanical garden. Perhaps it's specially built for fancy events. She, of course, complained to everyone who didn't manage to escape fast enough. I happened to be one of those victims. She started with how white and silver theme colors were for a wedding was so boring, how her daughter's wedding was way more luxurious, and how the bride's dress was too simple to be considered a wedding dress at all. Then she asked what my opinion was. Honestly, the wedding is gorgeous. Honestly, the wedding is gorgeous and the bride looks elegant. What I'm wondering about, though, is how some people simply have no class and bitch about others all the time. I've always thought that only people with very low intelligence do that. I mean, how do some people have such poor manners and just speak whatever comes to their mind without any filters? Safe to say she kept herself for the rest of the event. Not sure if it will last forever. That wasn't that good of a comeback. It was cool, like it was classy, but I would have asked her where her husband was. Oh, really, Aunt Jessica? Where's your husband? How was your wedding? Oh, he's not. Oh, you don't have a husband? Shut the fuck up. Yep. Ruining that. She'd have left crying. Guys, it's okay to be a fuckface to people who are being, who are consistently a disruption, right? It's okay to put people in their place from time to time. Sometimes you have to realize that you are the karma that the universe needs to enact and do things. And you should be okay with that. That doesn't mean to be a fuckface to everyone to just be a fuckface, but sometimes you have to be the one to do the thing. How many people are watching? 73. All right. I like it. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. It'll be a long live today. I don't know if we'll be on YouTube the entire time, but we are definitely going to be on for a while. I was live yesterday for almost 5 hours. Peaches is at our women's retreat, doing the women's retreat thing, and I'm sitting here by myself with nothing to do. So you guys are my friends today. Am I the asshole for telling my boyfriend that I'm better off alone? Every time I see that I'm better off alone, all I can hear is that Alice DJ song from back in the day. I think it was Alice DJ, Better Off Alone. I don't know. I love techno, guys. My boyfriend, male 24 and female, and I, female 24, have a 3-year-old daughter together and have been dating and living together for 4 years. Just for background info, I do make more money than him, but I also pay 75% of the bills before the majority of my money goes towards bills, household necessities, leaving me with around $100 for myself every week, which I usually spend on us 3 helping him pay bills when he is short, but never for myself. Yeah, you should just go ahead and leave. Right? Just, I have no patience for a workless person. You make more money than him. Why do you make more money than him? Right? So like that should be a thing. You should tell us why you make more money. Does he not work? Is he a burger flipper and you're a contractor? Like, why is this a thing? Why are you paying his portion of the bills? Right? If you can live life on your own, and assuming you're living your life on your own and you're supporting a grown man, then you have a dependent, not a man. Y'all are not going to enjoy me with that shit. Somebody in chat said, what the fuck, who cares if you pay more? It's a partnership. It's not. They're boyfriend and girlfriend. They're living together as a thing. They're not married. This is boyfriend girlfriend shit. This year for Christmas, I paid for all Christmas gifts. His family, my family, etc. He said he was short on money, so I had to pay for it. And he could pay me back. We both agreed on the prices and the gifts that we would buy for everyone. Fast forward to today, I told my boyfriend I'm better off alone because I was upset he didn't get me a Christmas gift. And I feel like I deserve at least a little gift. I asked him for a Coach purse around $350, and he said he would buy me this for Christmas, but Christmas came and went and I did not get my purse or anything, in all caps, at all. He also has not given me the money back that we agreed on. For him paying me back after Christmas. He says he cannot afford my purse right now, but 1 week before Christmas, he spent $300 on car modifications that was not necessary. And it was just for aesthetics. Now, I'm upset because I did not get any gifts from him, and I also told him I did not get the money he was supposed to pay me back when I asked for it. He says you shouldn't have gotten my family anything. He says this because he expects for me to pay for my family's gifts on my own, which is only my mom and sister, and I have to split the cost of the gifts for his family, which are his parents, 3 siblings, 4 cousins, 2 aunts, and 2 grandparents. So I said I'm better off alone. I could have gotten myself a purse if I didn't have to always pick up his slack. So I'm the asshole for saying I'm better off alone. If your entire relationship is solely about a financial transaction, then yeah, you're better off alone. If this man is just financially irresponsible, which is the indication with the car thing, and he doesn't take you into consideration and you are not a priority to him in this relationship. This sounds like he has got a sugar mama and is able to have the life that he wants to live without any real responsibility. Yeah, you're in the wrong relationship. If this man is a good man and he's killing himself at work and he's got child support with another baby mama and alimony payments and fucking, school debt and credit card debt, and he fucked his life up before you guys got together and he's trying to make things work, then I mean, that's a whole different conversation. And that's the point of these kind of things. Sometimes there's no black and white answer to this shit. There's a whole lot of gray area there. We have no idea. I would love to have seen what he thought about all of this. I wonder what his money looks like. Sounds to me, though, that you've got a man who is selfish. That's the way you painted the picture. So from what you laid out, the fact that he didn't get you a Christmas gift, how are you going to ask somebody who's broke for a $350 purse? What y'all think? What y'all think? A $350 purse is not a small gift. It can be if they've got money. Do you apply that to disability? Do you apply what to disability? So before I even answer that question, or before you answer that question, because the chat's behind, I'm very curious why people do that. When we have conversations that speak to the masses, and it is an overall blanket statement that applies to normal life, all of those for instances or extreme circumstances or not the norm should never be what ifed or used as an example about how my blanket statement is wrong. If 85% of the population can relate to something, the other 15% is an extreme, like rare occasion when you look at numbers. So disability as not being workless. Disability is a different conversation, guys. If they have disability and they're unable to work, then if they are on disability and they are unable to work, then no, I don't apply that to them because they're unable to work. Oh no, did I lose the chat? Oh no. I may have just lost you guys. I did not lose you guys. I don't know what just happened to my internet. Hang on. I'm going to finish that talk. I just got to get this back to doing what it was doing. If you are somebody who collects disability because you want a government handout and you don't want to actually have to do the work, that's a whole ass different discussion. I don't like anybody that manipulates the system. I understand that nobody wants to work. And I understand that like there are people out there who truly need assistance. But if you don't truly need assistance and you're milking the system, you're one of the worst type of people to me. So I have been homeless and I have done, time. I'm an uneducated man when it comes to the school system. And I have never in my life asked for a handout from the government, not once. I have too much pride and self-respect to do that. Now, if I was completely unable to work, if something happened and a pipe went through my throat, missed my shit, came out the back of my neck, and I was never able to speak again, my hands still work. I would just go to the tattoo shop and I would tattoo until my hands no longer worked. And when my hands no longer worked, I would find something else to do that I could do with no voice and no working hands for tattooing because I would rather provide for myself. Now, if I was paralyzed from the waist down and couldn't pick things up or had to be, I don't know. This is a really, what's the disability that's keeping you from not working? Because I have friends who are paralyzed from the waist down from dirt bike accidents. Well, one who's paralyzed from the waist down from a dirt bike accident. And he could probably collect disability and not work for the rest of his life, but he goes to work every day in his wheelchair. So, I don't know. How do you deal with your internal monologue if you have one? I tell it to shut the fuck up and I stab it in the ear with a pencil. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. I meditate. Real shit. If you are somebody who has an this is a pro tip for you guys. If you're somebody who has an internal monologue that doesn't shut off, this is how I fall asleep every night. I close my eyes and I picture a black dot in my head. And once I have that black dot in my third eye and I can see that black circle clearly, I move towards it. And I move towards it and I move towards it and I move towards it until the entire view in my brain is a black circle. And every time I start to hear a thought, I focus on that black dot, and it stays black in my mind. In the event that that doesn't work, the next thing I do is go into box breathing, which is a 4 second in, a 4 second hold, 4 second exhale, and a 4 second pause while focusing on that black dot. Because when the internal monologue starts, I just start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So now I'm shutting that off altogether. That is the only way that I am able to achieve a true disconnected single focus point of meditation, and it will put me to sleep almost every single time. So hopefully that helps you. Better off alone. Man, I hate that first one was deleted. That was a juicy topic. All right. Ooh, this one's in blue font. My internal monologue is British. That's funny. I'm talking about paralyzed from the neck down. Then how would you expect them to work? I'm sorry. I just don't understand how we've gotten this far. He said, okay, I'll get to it after this. I'm going down the list, so I will get back to it. All right. This one's called AIO. I don't know what that is. Anyways, boyfriend didn't do anything for my birthday and Christmas. Me and my boyfriend been together for a few years now. We started living together for about 2 years ago. Both of our jobs require a 6 to 7 day schedule, especially around the holidays. My birthday is in the beginning of December, and I even decided to get my birthday off. My boyfriend worked that day, which is no biggie. I don't usually take my birthday off. When he got off of work, he felt too tired and exhausted from work to really take me to do anything. On top of that, no type of birthday gift, which I'm not used to from him. I don't I don't do the holiday thing. And I know that this is a me thing, but like we do the holiday shit for the kids because it's exciting for them. And like I buy Peaches shit all the time because it makes her happy. And like I don't need a day to be told that I'm supposed to do something for somebody because I love them. I feel like that's slavery. I feel like I'm being forced to participate in global consumerism, right? And I know that that's a very stupid fucking statement to make because I don't like using terms like that, but I don't want to be forced to do something because when you are obligated to do something, there's no truth behind it. You're obligated. There's no love or happiness or, I'm doing this because you're the most important thing to me. I'm doing this because social norms say that I have to buy you Christmas gifts because it's Christmas. I'm giving you some booty today because it's the one year of it's the one day of the year where we celebrate a special day and you're cut off otherwise, but I'm going to just go ahead and fucking do my duties because it's our anniversary. Like I have a really hard time with the holiday thing and I don't partake in them. I will buy, like I tell my wife Merry Christmas and Happy Birthday and do all that shit. But, when it's near Christmas time or near her birthdays, I always ask her what she wants and I go buy the shit way before her birthday or way before Christmas and I give it to her so that I'm still giving her a gift for those days, but I'm doing it on my time and my schedule because I want to and because I love her, not because Hallmark said I had to. Mr. Monkey said, hello, Chris. I've been watching for a long time. Truly respect you and the advice that you and Peaches give. I haven't written an email, but I've been listening and applying what you've learned to my life. I hope it's helping you. Real shit, I hope it's helping you. Somebody said that this is, am I overreacting? Shout out to Belle. Thank you for the information because I don't do this kind of stuff. Anyways, she goes to say, so he decided to DoorDash me Victoria's Secret candles, like really, the next day after my birthday. Christmas is around the corner and we're doing all the shopping for our families. I picked him up a nice hat and a couple other things. Christmas Day comes and he got me nothing. I know both of these days aren't about getting presents, but he never made an effort to take me out or make me feel special. He even mentioned he'd take me out the weekend after Christmas and never did. Because you're not a priority. That's the answer. You're not a priority. You not a priority. For him, I do my best, but it seems like it's starting to go downhill for me. He doesn't want to make an effort. Now it is his sister's birthday. He really wants to go, but I feel like I don't want to. It makes me feel a little petty. It's not his sister making me feel a certain way. Am I not a priority to him anymore? You're not. I said that a minute ago. I get family is family. It's like, it's not like we've even been together for 6 months. It's been 5 years. Shoot, I go over and help his family out more than my own. I'm starting to feel like we are on different wavelengths right now. I tried expressing that to him. To sum all of this up, this year was the first year he got me nothing for my birthday and for Christmas. Now he expects me to be all excited for his sister's birthday. Not that she's making me feel a certain way, but still. Hard to celebrate and do things with other people when you didn't get that feeling from the one person you think would do everything they can for you to make birthdays and holidays special. All right, so I'm gonna throw this out there. If you were in the first year, 2-3 years of your relationship and your person went above and beyond and bought you gifts and tricked over you and did all of those things to make you feel good and it slowly weaned off and stopped, it's because they're no longer pursuing you. That's it. I chase my wife around like a fucking horny caveman because she's my everything and I want her to feel like she's the most important thing to me. Now, are there days where I'm stressed the fuck out? I'm worrying about money. I'm worrying about the tattoo shop. I'm worrying about metrics on the podcast. I'm worrying about the Discord. I'm worried about the numbers on Patreon. And I'm having like a mental fucking crisis about everything. And I might miss something. Absolutely. It happens. But that shit doesn't go on for very long because the moment I realized I missed a good morning beautiful or a kiss as she's coming or as I'm coming in the door, or, there's been times that I've gotten in the car and went to go somewhere and got all the way to the end of our street, which is over a mile long, and had to turn around and drive back because I fucking forgot to say, I love you and give her a kiss on my way out the door, because it's not a habitual thing. There's a, I love you, bye is one thing, but going over to your person, putting your arms around them and actually kissing them, not just as you're leaving, and having a moment of gratitude and love, because you never know if you're going to walk back through that door, is intentional. And I have had moments where I've had to walk back in and be like, oh my God, I'm so fucking sorry. My head's up my ass right now. Right? I still pursue my woman. Your dude is not pursuing you. He's not buying you gifts. You're not a priority. You're not going on dates. You're 5 years into the relationship and you're a bookmark. You haven't even made it to the 7-year itch yet. I'm willing to bet that if you were a new piece of ass and a new relationship with new things going on, he would be fawning over you still, and you would have gotten a whole lot for Christmas because you'd have been a priority. This is that new feeling, guys. You guys want to act like that over something brand new, trying to put your best foot forward and show that love and affection and thing. When you've built 5 years of history with somebody, that's where that attention should be going. All right. 85 people. Oh man, I feel important. All right. This is a cheating one. All right, this one's called Am I the Asshole? Wife Cheated on Me for Months. This has NFSW on it as a description, so there will probably be some vulgar statements. So just know I'm going to read them. And if you got me on speaker or somewhere where there's kids, you've been warned. Okay, so context. Wife and I want to have a baby. I've got a son from a prior marriage. She went her whole life and never had a kid, and she's always wanted one. She's got endometriosis and always wanted me to go to the doctor to see if anything I can do to help pregnancy. There's bad punctuation here. Took me like a year to go to the doctor because we've had unaltered, unprotected sex for like 5 years and nothing, so I assume it's not in the cards for us. And guess what? Doctor said nothing's wrong with me. It's a her thing. She decides to have a hysterectomy due to so many issues that's the end of her kid's dream. She says I wasn't there for her the way that she needed. Okay. Not knowing that she cheated on you. Man, I wish I could talk to people sometimes. I would love to have a conversation based off of that. My wife said I wasn't there for her the way that she needed. Well, were you there the way that she needed? Did she express that to you? Was it like blanket statements that she was hoping that you would catch on? Was it actually like verbalize what she needed? If her telling you that she would like you to go to the doctor to get your swimmers counted, I mean, I don't see why that would have been a problem. Real shit. Guys, age of technology. There was something at CES that you can put your shit on. Let's see if that super chat pops up. There's something that from CES that you can get your swimmers on and connect it to your iPhone, and it will tell you your count. So I'm going to sit here and stare at the screen for a second to see if that super chat pops up on YouTube. And then I'm going to read the super chat. Yeah, it worked. Love that. Fucking great. Now I just got to fix the things. All right, guys, like I said earlier, super chats will interrupt everything so that I can read them. Can you guys do an episode for single mothers? For example, financial tips to save money, time management, and good tips for bad mental days. Honestly, I'm struggling mentally these past few weeks. Why are you struggling mentally the past few weeks? What do you got going on right now that's getting you to that point? I don't know how to do. So this is one of those things that I can give you a whole lot of hypotheticals about how to save money, how to manage your time. I can give you all kinds of tips for managing your mental health, doing meditation, sound baths, journaling. The reality is I don't know your finances. And if you're making $4,000 a month and $3,800 of that is going out to stay afloat, there's not really an opportunity for you to save money because that other $200 a month has to go towards food and whatever like life things that you need. So like at that point, you have to really dial down what your money's being spent on to do that. Financial audits are a really big deal. Financial audits, time audits, so that like, for those of you who didn't see the TikTok I posted today, I'm sure most of you didn't because I'm shadow banned like fuck right now. A time audit would be writing down every 15 minutes in a journal what you're doing throughout the day. So, and you can do this with time, you can do this with money, you can do this with food. Food journals are really big in bodybuilding. Anytime you put food in your mouth, you write down what it was and how many calories it was so that at the end of the day, you can track what you're actually eating instead of guessing. Same thing with your time. Every 15 minutes, an alarm goes off on your phone. You write down what you're doing. After 7 days, you go back and you audit yourself and you see where you wasted the most amount of your time. If you're doom scrolling throughout the day for 20, 30 minutes here and there, you're going to see that pop up a lot. So I would do audits on all of that shit. I would audit my finances. I would audit my time. I would audit my mental health. Anytime something makes me feel good or bad, I would write it down so that I can come back to it at the end of the day and reflect on the decisions that I am making, what I have control over, the accountability that I can take, and I would try to improve my life from there. I hope that helps, but otherwise you can tag Peaches in one of the women's groups if you're in our Discord, because that would be more of her thing, because she did the single mom thing for a while. All right, so back to this. I just found out that she had an affair for 2 months, and the day I found out was the same day the dude's girlfriend found out, because she was threatening to blast it. Wife said she had already broke it off with him, text deleted prior. She wanted to tell me feels terrible. Wants to end herself. This is really horrible grammar. Did you guys know that a lot of high school kids, I think it was like 50 or 60% of high school kids that are graduating right now are graduating with a 3rd grade reading ability? With us spending most of our time online and texting and typing and reading the way that we do to interact digitally, you think that number would be almost gone. Fucking crazy to think about. I wanted kids with her, but am also logical and willing to accept that it's not in the cards for us. Then she had surgery. Then she cheated on me for months. Now she's blaming me, saying I wasn't enough for her emotionally, and that's why she fucked this dude. If you were not enough for her emotionally and she emotionally cheated on you, that would make a lot of sense, right? Because there was something that needed to be filled there. There was a void and she filled it. Her filling her other void with another dude had nothing to do with emotions. That was physical. Now she's blaming me, saying I wasn't enough for her emotionally. That's why she fucked this dude. I want a divorce. I was there, and sometimes it's not up to you if you have kids. Let's be logical. This bitch cheated for 2 months, and I only found out the same day as this dude's girlfriend because she threatened to blast it. I'd go fuck his girlfriend. And I would record it. And then when we were done, I would send it to him on Snapchat. Both of them. Now she's saying how she still loves me and shit and wants to work it out. I did nothing wrong. But over the last couple of years, she's accused me of cheating completely falsely a couple of times. It's because she was cheating. She says it's in her head. If it felt real. It never happened. She knows that. She's still trying to reconcile. She expects me to take her back after she hit it and fuck someone else for 2 months behind my back. I guarantee you that it was more than 2 months, and I guarantee you this wasn't the first time. Also still waiting on STD tests, and we work for same company. We all work for the same company. Different locations, them the same. Am I the asshole for wanting a divorce and wanting it to be all over, also wanting it to stay as confidential as possible at the same time? Company we work for the wife is a cheater. I would fucking file for divorce. I don't see how that's even a thing. That sounds like borderline. It could be. Doesn't change the fact that she did what she did. Promiscuity is very common with borderline personality. Sexual endeavors that are outside of relationships and a lot of partners is very common with borderline. That doesn't make it okay. Saying that is a mental health illness is a way to excuse the behavior because someone hasn't done the work on themselves to fix themselves. Peaches and I both have borderline, and we don't even DM the opposite sex. Like, we don't find ourselves alone in the room with opposite sex. Like, we have a whole lot of respect for each other and don't put ourselves in risky situations where there can even be accusations made because we don't want to fuck up what we have. Now, granted, we've done a whole lot of work on ourselves. I know that promiscuity is part of a borderline personality disorder, and because I'm aware of that, I had the opportunity to fix it. So if somebody has borderline and it's undiagnosed, I can see how that would be a conversation. It does not excuse the behavior. And again, this chick is making excuses for her behavior and making him the problem. She's blame shifting instead of just owning the fact that she was wanting more from what she was getting from her husband. I got unadded because I wasn't active. Do you think they'll add me back? What do you mean you got unadded? We don't, if you mean from the women's group, for the public women's chat, I don't think they kick people out of that. there might have been something that happened with your Discord, but if you are in Discord and you want to be a part of the public women's group and you got kicked out, just be like, hey guys, can you put me back in there? And they will. BPD isn't an excuse. It can be a reason, but you're still responsible. There's right and wrong no matter what. I agree with all of that. You shouldn't have gotten kicked out of there. That's not something that we go through and monitor like that. Like once people are in, they should have it. So either your Discord lapsed at some point and like it got back in, and when it pushed you back in, you just didn't get added back to it. But if you guys are in the Discord and you want to be a part of the public men's group or public women's group, the public's group, because you know their subs are the shit and so are their chicken tenders. Danish has got you. Danish for the win. All right, next one's called Am I the Asshole from Removing Friend from Costly Activities for Not Paying Child Support. Edited for length. Oh, man. $32 months. Crazy to think that you've been here for almost 6 years. Or 3 years. 6 years. I said 36 in my brain. In October, I found out that a decade-plus long friend, we were each other's best man in a wedding, was 7 months behind on child support and told his ex, "You'll get it when you get it." I had been distancing myself from him based on other personal decisions he was making related to co-parenting after years-long attempts at intervention, advice, and offering help. But when our fantasy league/friend group was discussing an expensive out-of-state trip, he immediately replied with enthusiasm, declaring his certain participation. You're a fucking gangster for this. This is the accountability that men need to fucking have with their social circles. I don't need to read anything else from here. Dude wasn't paying his child support, told his ex, "You'll get it when you get it," and was about to go on an expensive trip with the friends, and you're cutting him out of your friend circle. That's exactly what should happen. And you should have a heart-to-heart with him before you do it and be like, "Hey man, you think that you just paying child support to your child's mother is enough? Even if you pay a lot in child support, your child is missing out on having a male father figure because you're not there. You were making a decision to be absent in their life, and like, anybody that's got kids knows how expensive groceries are right now. Like, he's a piece of shit. You should fucking tell him face to face. Like, you are not a man, in my opinion. You have genitals that are of the male persuasion, but you have no balls. I don't know what to tell you. I would get with the friend group and fucking ejectocito his ass from the entire situation. I would let the entire friend group know, look, if he's going to continue coming around and doing things, I can't be here. I will find a better social circle because I'm not going to congregate with people who have fucked up moral standards. Just all there is to that. This prompted me to subtly reveal his delinquency and that he shouldn't be spending this type of money that he owes in child support. Love that. When this went unacknowledged, he further pursued the trip. I was more overt. When confronted with this fact, he stated it happened not for lack of funds. He downplayed the legal implications. In our state, he already met the delinquency requirement for being listed on the child support evaders list and was only 2 missed payments away from being on it. Then lied and said it had been resolved and squared away with his ex-wife. He has since gone no contact with me and is now 4 months behind on child support, so the confrontation did spark some progress. So he caught up by 3 months. I know he got half of his ex's 401k in the divorce. That's fucked up. So if funds were really the issue, he could tap into that, and albeit with the tax implications, but in my mind, if I can't pay child support, I would be doing that. I sent a NYD message. What is NYD? What is NYD, guys? I don't know what that means. I sent a NYD message to say I believe he can't turn this around. No response. I know that he is still living his life in regards to spending money, concerts, trips, dates, while still being delinquent. It is true that potentially I don't understand his entire financial picture, and he was possibly lying about the funds not being the issue. Perhaps there are issues with his girlfriend paying for all of his extracurriculars, but I doubt that she would be okay with skirting child support since she is also in a co-parenting situation. The thing is, I knew if he was making the child support a priority, I would have no issue with buying him dinner, drinks at the league to get together. I hate new terms. I do too. It's so fucking confusing for me. Maybe New Year's Day. I sent a New Year's Day message. I mean, that could be it. Fuck it. We'll go with that. That makes sense in my brain. Since our friend group has activities like Fantasy League buy-in and out-of-state excursions to Facebook game dinners, Facebook games, FB games, football games. It goes to show where my brain is. I don't sports. Dinners. I feel like him choosing those avenues for his money in lieu of child support is a moral line I don't want to be party to. But part of me is saying that this is none of my business and that this is a long-term friendship. Will I be the asshole for replacing him in the league and activities? This speaks to your moral character, right? It is none of your business. And honestly, it's none of your fucking business what he's doing, but you're aware of it. And because you're aware of it, you have to make the decision if you are going to compromise your integrity by keeping people like this in your life, because the more you have people in this in your life, the more you will start to see these behaviors as normal, and it will start to corrupt your soul. And you will start being skewed on your morals, and who you are now and what you believe in so securely will eventually shift. It's why people who have a social circle full of cheaters ends up becoming a cheater, because everyone's doing it. It views it as normal. Same things with drugs. It's not, what do they call it? It's not peer pressure. It's just your turn. Since the confrontation happened on the league Discord, most everyone is aware of the situation, so removal replacement wouldn't happen without consensus. So this post is more about it worth bringing to a decision vote with them. One of the members is very strongly for removing him, but I could see others fall on other side. He is still speaking with the other members of the group and did set his lineup until end of season. He did not attend the champion crowning this month. All the other local guys did. I'd be trying to push him out. No, you didn't. I Googled it and got no, you didn't. I sent him a no, you didn't text. No, you didn't message. Yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think about that one? Do you think he should remove the friend, or do you think he should keep the friend in the friend circle because it is really none of his business? It is fantasy football, yes. Same with having divorced friends. Fox Krispies, I agree. I fucking agree. I don't want to put myself in a position where I'm going to be compromised. Because of the life that I've lived, I understand how easy it is for a social circle to manipulate your morals. It really does not take much for you to start viewing behaviors from other people as normal. And when that happens, that's just the way things are now. You can look at this through COVID. The amount of people who were adamantly against wearing masks or taking the jab that eventually started wearing masks and taking the jab was because their social circle started doing it and they didn't want to be left out. Did you guys ever see that social experiment where there was a bunch of people in a lobby and something would happen and everyone would stand up and then they would sit back down, and something would happen and everyone would stand up and they'd sit back down? And the person that was in the lobby was watching everyone do it and like didn't understand what was happening. And after like 7 or 8 times of them doing it, he started doing it, right? And then they started filtering people out that were in that, and he continued doing it. And as new people came in, they just continued the process. And no one had any idea why people were standing up and sitting down. At the end of the experiment, all of the original actors who were told to stand up and sit down when this thing triggered were not in there, and people were still doing it. It's fucked up. That's the way that we want to fit in with people, because we don't want to be standing out. We don't want, and this is in human DNA, when you are cast out from the group, it's very hard to survive. And that's been the way that it's been for 100,000 years. So we know that our chances of survival goes way the fuck down when we're the odd liar. Shit's wild. Fucking wild. A bell would ring and they stood up. Yep, that's what it was. It was a bell. All right. Am I overreacting for being bitter towards my husband for not getting me a Christmas present? There's a whole lot of women not getting Christmas gifts, huh? 29-year-old female, my husband 30, have been married for 2 years. This past Christmas, 2025, I got him a few things for Christmas, some hat hangers to organize his hat collection. What a lame gift. And his favorite peanut butter cookies. Seriously, do you call that Christmas gifts? I call that normal organization and snacks for movies. But so this is perspective, right? Because if Peaches got me hat hangers, I'd be like, why would you buy this? Hey, cookies. I mean, that's this dinner snack. Like, did you guys hear what happened with Crumble Cookie? Oh my God. I'm gonna come back to that. We got a super chat. Lemon said, the reason I've been struggling is because I feel like a failure as a daughter, mother, and a sister. I can't help my dad the way I want to. I can barely afford daycare. They help me with my daughter. You helping your dad is not a thing. It should be the other way around. Your dad should be helping you. You need to get into the women's group and you need to start talking to the women there. You have a whole lot of things that are going on that you can't give me information in a super chat in order for me to really help you. If you want to type out what's going on into the ball pit and tag me so that I can pull it up on Discord and read what's going on so that you have more than 160 characters, you've sent me $20 at this point. I will pull that up and get to it. But I can't help you with this. This is very surface level. Guys, on the east coast of Florida, I want to say it was in West Palm Beach, there was a crumble cookie where somebody went in there with their cell phone and saw one of the workers with their shoes off and their feet on the fucking cookie trays with no shoes on. And it blew up. Crumble cookies in a whole world of shit right now because of dirty hygiene. And like, dude, I fucking love crumble cookie. Them big ass cookies are like the shit. And now I will never be able to eat them and wonder if I'm putting somebody's foot fungus in my mouth. All right, back to this. Christmas Eve, we were I read that he got awkward after, and I said, Christmas Eve, we were hanging in our bed, and I made a comment. I can't wait for you to open your presents tomorrow. He got awkward after I said this and admitted I didn't get you anything this Christmas. This made my heart sink and my stomach twist. I felt the tears well up in my eyes. Then he said, I'm sorry, work has been so busy, and I just ran out of time. How about I just give you $200? I agreed because at least it's not nothing, but who can be mad at receiving money? Fast forward a few days after Christmas, we meet with friends, and to my shock and frustration, he gave each of his best friends customized Magic the Gathering decks, complete with play mats and card boxes. Okay. I'll come back to that thought. Now, I'm not a huge fan. Oh my God. I'm not a huge fan of Magic the Gathering, but I am just feeling so hurt that my husband, who has known me for over 5 years, didn't put in any time or effort or a Christmas present for me. One of my love languages is gift giving, so I think this just hits a little extra hard for me. You can't expect people to always love you from your love language because the way that we give love and receive love are two different things. If he knows that your love language is receiving gifts, because you said yours is gift giving, receiving gifts and gift giving aren't the same thing. One is about receiving, one is about giving. That's a whole ass different conversation anyways. Also, a few important details. I am pregnant with our first baby, so I might be a little over dramatic or oversensitive, sure, but I also have made a shared Instagram reel saved collection for things like that for gifts entitled Things Your Wife Likes. Wow. So for those of you who don't play Magic the Gathering, playing a custom Magic the Gathering deck, assuming that they're only playing standard or modern, that's a 60 card count. And like, yes, there are deck lists that you can download offline, but you have to go online, buy the cards, or go to your local card shop, or if you have them, find them. Then you have to buy your card sleeve, your card boxes, find the playmats. If you're playing Commander, EDH, that's a whole other thing. That's a 100 card singleton format. And again, you can download lists, but it's a whole thing. If he bought or put together custom decks for his friends, this isn't a quick, like, here's your gift, right? There is a whole lot of fucking effort that goes into that, unless he was like, okay, this person likes to play red-green. And they go online and type in like top tier red-green deck and just import the card deck list from a website onto Card Kingdom and then download the fucking the list and buy the cards that way, only to sleeve them for the person and put them together. That would not take as much time, but sleeving the cards, putting them in the deck boxes and doing all that shit is a time consuming thing. And if he had the ability to do this for multiple people, but could not get on Amazon and have something Prime delivered to her or ordered online and had delivered to the house, even if he didn't wrap the shit, like it could have been in the box it came in and just cut the shit open or stuck a bow on it and been like, here you go. This is a problem. This is a problem for me. This is him putting effort into other people's, the relationship that he has with other people and not with his pregnant wife. I'm willing to bet that he enjoys playing Magic with these people, so he's getting something from them getting those Magic decks because it's like a selfish thing, and him giving her a gift or buying her a gift wouldn't have done anything for him. Excuse me. When did Chris learn Japanese? Because I don't understand a word he's saying. I play Magic the Gathering, guys. I'm a big fucking nerd. I actually play Magic Arena, MTG Arena, every day on the computer while I edit. And it's not an easy thing to master, and it's not one of those things that you can just throw decks together and there's a pretty big community for it still. But I feel bad for this chick. This is one of those things that like I don't like this. So we talked about it. I just came out and said, honey, it really hurt my feelings that for Christmas you didn't get me a gift. It makes me feel insignificant because no effort was put in. While you put in a lot of time and effort for your two best friends' Christmas presents. He was quiet for a moment, and when he replied, well, I'm sorry, I'm such a shitty husband. Manipulation. Manipulation. It should be socially acceptable for when people do that for you to right in the forehead. Right in the forehead. Bam! You know the that was easy button from Target? Should be their forehead. That was easy. And then they go, what the fuck? Be like, you want to try that again, dummy? Like, because that is manipulation. I'm sorry, I'm such a shitty husband. I would have been like, yeah, you fucking are a shitty husband because you neglected me on Christmas and bought shit for a bunch of dudes that you're not married to. Guys, I get real fucking petty when people try to manipulate me or dangle things over my head because I see it for what it is, and I will fucking destroy someone over that. This is how marriages end. Right? I'm such a shitty husband negates everything that happened. It turns into a pity me thing. It's all about you need to make me feel good now because I fucked up and didn't do for you. And I'm the problem and you need to love me to make me feel better. No, bruh, you need to let your balls drop and you need to treat your woman some fucking dignity and respect. She wrote, I hate when he says this. It's such a cop-out and it takes no accountability at all, which I told him that. That's a cop-out and you know it. You can't even apologize or say you'll do better from now on. I cried the whole drive home and he ignored my tears. Am I overreacting? No, you're not. You're not. You're seeing your husband for who he is. He's selfish and he doesn't give a shit about you. In this situation, what he did for his friends for Christmas was about him. You can see that it's about him. You can see that there is narcissistic traits in this, and I'm not calling him a narcissist, but he's using this situation to make it about him, which speaks to ego, depression, and narcissism. Everyone has narcissism, guys. Just saying. Everyone has narcissism. Fuck that dude. All right. How's everybody doing in here? You guys still fucking with me? Everybody still vibing? We still got, oh my God, there's 100 people in here watching me do this. Now I'm nervous. My wife's not here. What do I do? Oh God. Oh man. Someone said I would leave. I don't know if that's a divorceable offense. I would definitely take some time out of the house. And when I got back, we would have a very real conversation about the pity me behavior and the lack of attention that's being given to me in the marriage and the fact that she's pregnant. Yep. This one's called, Am I the Jerk for Leaving My Cousin and Her Kids Stranded After Her Son Almost... Oh, wait, I read this one. He reposted that. I read that one. Read that one too. What happened? Why are we going back to the top of the list? These are the links. All right, scrolling down. Here's the first one that he posted. This is the last one, IT guy. I'm completely caught up. It's not there. It's saying that it's been deleted. Locked post, comments can't be posted. Sorry, this post was deleted by the person who originally posted it. So now you guys get to be my entertainment because I don't have anything else to talk about. Been here working this entire time. I could do the 8th episode of the Dokado. Number 7 is done and uploaded. For those of you who have the member on YouTube, you guys get early access to that, but it'll drop tomorrow morning at 5:30. J Dito said, I would be putting our relationship on lockdown. We aren't hanging out with anyone until we get our shit together or leave separately. That's it. You could copy and paste it. If you can still see it, that means it's in your cache. You can copy and paste. Was I tagged in the ball pit? Because that super chat thing was there. Let's see if that tag happened, because I can move that over and answer that while we're here waiting. Nope. Nope. Okay. He says he has more, so we're going to do more of these. I'm just waiting on him to send them. Dokado. Vocal stem. Yep. I got to number 3 before the live. Are you enjoying it? Jay sent me a picture of him on the treadmill this morning listening to the Hermetic Principles that I did. Feels good that you guys are listening to the standalone content. Dokado means the way of walking alone. Chris Random, how do you support Peaches in different times of her cycle? I beat the fucking brakes off of it. Yep. I can't get any more into that because it gets kind of vulgar and gross, but she tells me when she's there's a sharing app that tracks her cycle so that I can look to see what's going on. She tells me when she's starting, when she thinks it's about to start coming on so that I'm aware of it. She tells me when her cramps are really bad. We do a little bit of extra dessert. Sometimes we eat a little bit more. We eat together because if one's eating, we're both eating, like we do that together. If her cramps are really bad, or I don't mind getting gross. I'm not going to get gross with you guys because that's none of your concern, but I don't mind getting gross if you catch my drift. So I'll take care of that and make those cramps go away. She doesn't treat me like shit, guys. Like, I know that there's a really bad stigma of women being with their monthly visitor and being nasty and all of that. Like, she doesn't get hormonal and treat me shit. She does cry sometimes, but, I mean, she cries anyways. She just cried over sunsets. It's just one of those things. Somebody said they can't hear anything. You gotta reset refresh your tab. Somebody said we've had several conversations and he swears to get better but doesn't. Then he's just giving you lip service. It's there now. If somebody tells you they're going to do better and they actually don't do better, they're not. It's bullshit. It's lip service. All right. When I was pregnant with my daughter and homeless in my car, my dad moved me, my ex in with him. I got to meet my siblings that I hadn't seen for 12 years, and that was in 2023. My abusive ex got kicked out by my dad. My dad don't play about his children. I love my dad very much. Anyways, I'm living in my dad's house at 24 rent-free, and I don't have to pay anything, really. I told him I would help as much as I can. I only make $14 an hour at Walmart. I work a good 30 hours a week. Starting February 1st, I'm putting my daughter in daycare, which will cost me $212 a week before taxes. That's 3 days a week for 9.5 hours a day. That's the bulk of my hours right there. But I only have enough after that to help with groceries, which he said he's okay with, but I feel like such a failure because I can't help beyond that. I feel like a failure of a sibling because I can't connect with them on a level that people their own age can. They are 16, 17, and 18. So I have a lot that I want to touch on with this. The first thing that I want to touch on is a 30-hour work week is unacceptable. That's not full time. You're working a part-time position. You don't get to complain about money if you're not working full time. And if you're only working one job and you're not making 30 hours a week, you need to find another job part-time to get to the 40 to 45 hour a week mark to make up for the lost income. Putting your kid into daycare so that you can work 30 hours a week when you've got a 16, 17, and 18-year-old doesn't make sense. I don't know how old your child is, but I would be paying them to babysit or asking dad to do it if dad is retired so that you have help. The other thing that I wanted to touch on in this is that it takes a village. We have a whole lot of houses and very few homes out there right now, right? Let that sink in. We have a whole lot of houses and very few homes. You got a home. You have a community. You got a tribe there where everybody's trying to do what they need to do to make things work. I have always been the guy that believed that when my kids turned 18 years old, they need to beat feet. They're adults now. Get the fuck out of my house and go do your own thing. I don't have that mentality anymore. I now have the mentality of I want my kids. Oh man, the new member thing is way the fuck over there. I really have to fix that. I have this mentality now where I don't want my kids to move out. Granted, I don't want them in the house having parties and bringing people and shit in here because we have a lot of nice shit. This is our place. But I don't want them to move out. I want my kids to stay here and stack paper and fucking build businesses and have the thing. And when they got kids and there's grandbabies involved, and Peaches and I are almost retired, and this is what we do for a living, we can watch the grandbabies and they can go have dates and fucking keep their marriage alive. And, the goal is to have land so that we can put tiny homes or actual houses or RVs on the land and the kids don't have to move out at all. Are they going to want to stay and live here with us forever? Probably not. Am I going to want that way for them? Who knows? They could be 15, 16-year-old little fuck faces and I may not want them around anymore. That could change. But as of right now, I have a different perspective on what it means to have a house. If your dad is like, don't worry about paying rent, he's already making bills. He's got it. Your little bit of extra money to help chip in would do nothing for him other than put money into a savings account. I would imagine that he's grateful that you're there and that he's got time with his grandkid. Like, have you had those conversations with him? Because it sounds to me like you're self-deprecating and making this a negative when it could be an overall net positive if you just have conversations about what's going on. You do need to get a better job, though. It's going to 40 hours after daycare. My dad works at night, so my availability is only 3 to 10. The true way of family. That's it, man. It's crazy to me that kids don't let kids watch kids anymore. I'm a latchkey kid. For those of you who don't know, latchkey kids were the ones that wore our house key on a necklace tucked into our shirt because we got to go home after school and sit in a house by ourselves because parents had 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 jobs. We got home, went inside, locked the door, made ourselves a bowl of cereal, put on some cartoons or played Nintendo until it was bedtime and we put ourselves to bed. That was the reality for a whole lot of 80s kids. So like having teenage babysitters, 12, 13, 14 years old was fucking common. We're in a weird fucking time where we've removed all responsibilities from teenagers. There's a super chat here and I'm going to get to it. There's actually a story of a kid. I want to say he was from Pennsylvania. When he was 13 or 14 years old in the 1800s, he left and went to Brazil. 13 or 14 years old, went to Brazil. He went to South America as a miner by himself and started a mining company. By the time he was 18 years old, he was a multi-millionaire and he was sending all of his money back to Pennsylvania or Virginia. It might have been Virginia because that's what my brain wanted to say just now. You guys can Google that story. It's actually a really cool story, but there used to be a whole lot of responsibility for children. They used to work farms. They used to do food. There used to be a whole lot of things that would happen. That shit don't happen no more. All right, Super Chat said, my boyfriend and I have talked so much, he lacks effort / focus on us and our baby. Always gaming or on phone. I clean, cook, baby care, money. We both work. Is there more to that? I feel like there should be more to that because otherwise that sounds like you're just complaining. There it is. We've had countless discussions. We both work full time. I do the house tending, cooking, all planning financially, and our baby, he doesn't step up yet. Every time I ask, he promises to. So he's not, this is the lip service. This is why, I'm assuming that if you've been here for a while, you've done the apology languages. If you guys haven't done the apology languages tells you how you receive an apology and what you need. I am somebody who needs changed action. I don't even want to hear I'm sorry. Real shit, like that's one of those things that infuriate me. I would rather someone be like, you're right, I did that. I won't do that again. And then see changed behavior. I don't want to hear I'm sorry. I don't want to hear any type of remorse because you got caught or because I had to come to you with something. That's not remorse. That's you being punished and afraid that you're being punished. So now you're trying to course correct. If you were sorry about something, you'd be like, hey, I noticed I didn't wash that fucking knife that had jelly on it and there's ants in the sink. And I know that you were probably going to walk in there a little bit and seen it. I cleaned it up. I'm sorry that that's a thing. I'll take care of it next time in the future. That's remorse. Getting caught or having a conversation about some shit you did wrong and then apologizing for it's not remorse. You're not sorry. You're bothered that this is now an inconvenience with your life and you're trying to backpedal and skirt the situation. You said I'm 24 and he's 27. My intimacy is gone and he's been this way from day one. And I'm debating leaving because even with my effort in changing, he hasn't. Well, if he's been that way since day one, this is who you got. That's the type of man you have. I'm not going to be like you should leave him, but I would definitely let him know that you are living with one foot out the door, and that if change doesn't happen, the next conversation is going to look very different than this one. And I would just leave it at that. Don't say divorce. Don't say you're going to leave him. Let him know that you are living with one foot out the door right now. You are starting to believe this relationship has run its course. And the next time a conversation comes up like this, if there has been no change, this conversation is going to look very different. Leave it at that. Jenny, how much better is your life now, though? I'm going to see if I can move that new member thing. And then we're going to get back into some more of the Am I the Asshole things. Super. We need the member one. So let's lock these. Lock layer. I don't want to lock the layer. All right. Lock it now, though. I wonder if I can change the super chat settings so that the text fits better. Let's go 15 on the text size. See if that helps. Kind of cool to be able to do this shit in real time. I hope that answered questions. So this is one of those things that you're in a shitty situation, and if you don't start really trying to take action to make change of your life, you're going to just sit here. You know what I mean? It's a random list, so it has a variety. Yeah, bro, send them. Fuck it. I don't have anything else to do. There's 100 people, 94 people just hanging out with me while I'm doing nothing. So he blames his ADHD and how he's sorry he hasn't done better. That's an excuse. That's an excuse. Oh, it's ADHD. Sorry, I haven't done better. He's not going to change because he doesn't have to. You have allowed him to act this way and live this way the entire time that you guys have been together, and this is life for him. So what's happening, and this is pattern recognition, something happened. You guys had a talk. He made an excuse. Things went back to the way they were. Nothing had to change. The next time something came up, you guys had a talk. He was like, okay, the last time I did this, all I had to do was apologize. Nothing had to change, and I could keep doing what I was doing. And this is the perpetual bullshit because there's no reason for him to change because the talk was nothing. It was just one of those things where he felt bad in the moment, was able to placate you with an apology. You got over it, and life continued exactly the way that it was. Yep. Feels like I'm raising 2 kids. It's so lonely. I believe it. Absolutely believe it. All right, let's go back to Discord, pull up the... Oh, he actually copy and pasted it here. Okay, so the Am I the Asshole that was unable to be seen because they deleted it. We got it. Ha ha ha. Am I the asshole for leaving my apartment when my girlfriend wanted quote unquote girl time? My girlfriend and I have been together for 2.5 years, living together for 6 months. Prior to moving in together, we had both been living alone for 5+ years. Neither of us had really lived with previous partners. Oh, not leaving my apartment when she wanted girl time. My girlfriend told me about a week ago that she was having her BFF over, not a big deal. We have a second living space downstairs, and I love my alone time down there. Last weekend, however, our downstairs was flooded. It's a mess, cannot go down there. I had originally planned to go to the gym after work today. It's also my first week returning to the office in a long time. However, I forgot my gym bag at home this morning. I get home today, do some chores, set up a dehumidifier that our landlord dropped off, threw some laundry in, fed the pets, etc. Girlfriend comes home with her BFF, and I can see it already on her face. She's annoyed I'm even there. I say I'm going downstairs to take care of some stuff. I have to take pics of things, make piles to get rid of for renter's insurance. She says I should go to the gym, and I reply, I don't really feel like it. She's obviously annoyed, says something along the lines of, you knew BFF was coming over and the plans. I kind of snapped back and said, yes, that was before our apartment flooded. She and BFF ended up going out to dinner and I stayed home. Side note, BFF also has a husband at her place, so I assume that's why they didn't go there, but also didn't kick him out. They're fucking. Yep, there's an inappropriate relationship happening there. And you don't know about it. I believe that. I believe it. Angelina said, I'm going to join the Discord. I've been waiting for years. You should. We have a fucking hell of a community there. Wanting to for years. You should join the $15 tier and get into the ball pit. Say hello. There, a lot of the people that you see in this chat right now are part of our Discord. We have such a fucking gangster ass community over there. Ooh, that first one you sent, Chris, was removed by our moderator. Let's see. All right. Oh man. What a day. What a day. What a day. They're fucking and you're not invited. I actually believe that. No one will steal your wife faster than her her female bestie. Oh, it's fucking crazy. But we know that to be true because we read in Am I the Asshole in the 3rd episode of when we were actually recording this, where as soon as dude was out to lunch with her sister and that chick saw it, she left the restaurant, went right to his house to try to fucking destroy that marriage. Like there's a whole lot of fucking nonsense that happens in that shit. All right, this next one's called Am I the Jerk for Stopping Financial Help After Realizing My Sibling Lies About Emergencies? This is the little boy who cried wolf. So no. I started sending my siblings 24 male and 22 female money 2 years ago when they said they were struggling. At first it was for rent, then groceries, then utilities. Every time there was a new crisis, and I believed them, I skipped things for myself to make sure they were okay. I never told the rest of the family because they asked me not to. Probably because they were doing the same thing with the rest of the family. This is one of those things, guys, that if you don't allow people to hit rock bottom and learn to fend for themselves, you will always be the thing that they take from. It would be one of those things. The first time they asked, I'd be like, yeah, I got you. The next time they're like, hey, can you help me? I'd be like, no, I just helped you. I've done that already. You used that lifeline. You've already phoned the friend. You don't get that option anymore. You got to find the next things. I don't know what to tell you. Use your 50-50. You have to do something else. This is like real enabling behavior type shit. We ain't doing that. Over time, the emergencies became more and more frequent. Of course they did. I noticed the amount slowly increased as well. One day, they posted photos from a weekend trip with friends. When I asked about it, they said it was a gift from someone else. Something felt off, so I checked old messages. Many of the emergencies lined up with events they attended later. I confronted them calmly and asked for honesty. They became defensive and accused me of being controlling. I told them I would no longer send money without transparency. They said I was abandoning family, and relatives say I should help regardless of lies. I feel used and conflicted. Fuck your family. Fuck them. Fuck them. I mean that with every ounce of my being. You are not going to play that whole, well, their family card with me. I don't give a fuck. If they were family, they wouldn't be using me. If they were family, they wouldn't be doing that shit because family don't do those things. So you expect me to take the higher ground while they're being scumbags? Nah, you're in that list with them now. So you can go sit in a corner. All of you go sit at the kiddie table. We ain't doing this. When you guys are ready to act like adults and live your life like adults and treat each other with respect and dignity and not lie and steal and do foul shit, you can come and sit down at the table with the rest of us. Until then, go play with your puzzle, suck on your binky, and shut the fuck up. Ooh. That one got me. That one got me, guys. I just realized that one got me the way that it did because I've been used for my finances most of my life and I can't fucking stand it. Especially because I'm one of those people that want to do right by people. I don't want to see people suffer. I don't want to see people hurt. I want to make sure that everybody is taken care of. And when people realize that they can take advantage of somebody like that, they do. And they absolutely fucking do. And when you stop, you're the problem. And then they want to badmouth you just like that fucking thing. And you will always be the problem, right? Okay. Will I be the asshole if I return similar comments to my wife? I'm 6 foot, 70 male. Wife is 5'7", 68. My wife constantly harps on me for what I eat. You don't need to eat that. Don't you care about your weight? You're putting on a few pounds. You better cut back, are just a few of the comments. Info, my wife's weight has fluctuated from 180 to 190 my entire life. My weight has fluctuated from 180 to 190 my entire life. Typically, I walk 3 to 4 miles a day, 5 days a week. Used to be a marathon runner in my younger days, 50s. She has been overweight ever since the birth of our second child 35 years ago. She's obese and her weight has fluctuated from 180 to 280. She takes the latest weight loss shots, $500 a month for the past year, mixed results, partially because of little exercise, sits in a recliner and reads her Kindle, and late night chocolate snacks. When she harps on me about my weight, I just bite my tongue. I would send that shit right back. I'm gonna be You guys see that TikTok of the lady who's talking and the guy reaches over and grabs her throat and goes to her? The petty. God, the petty. If you are overweight, making any type of comment to somebody who is not overweight that also takes care of their physical health, you really need to shut the fuck up. Like, this is not going to go well for you, because eventually someone's going to get tired of hearing that and they're going to call you on your shit. I'm trying so hard not to be mean to this person. I'm just going to move on. Because people are going to be like, oh, he hates fat people if I say the things I want to say. As somebody who was over 320 pounds, I have no sympathy for people who don't take care of themselves. And also those shots, just so you guys know, all of the GLP-1s, GLP-2s, GLP-3s, the Ozempics, the trizepatides, the Retta, all of those things that are $500, $600, $800 a month can be found online way fucking cheaper. Way fucking cheaper. Okay, this one's called I 25 female, don't know why he 36 male is acting like this, ? Advice. Chats, you guys are funny in the chat. I mean, we got 100 people. We've been really holding this 100 people. I wonder what this is doing for views, because this is actually public and I have the ads on. Okay, first and foremost, I know I posted here many times, but I'm currently having a hard time processing this whole situation, and it's causing me a lot of stress and bad thoughts lately. Bear with me. What that means is, I know I post on Reddit and do this a lot, but you give me attention and it makes me feel good. And because this is filling a void in my life that I'm otherwise not having fulfilled in other aspects of my life, I'm going to continue doing this because I know that you're going to come here and make me feel better about myself and tell me that I'm not the problem. Me, 25 female, and this guy, 36 male, we met online, not on a dating app. He messaged me first and kept messaging me, and that's how it all started. Later, we started texting on WhatsApp and talking on the phone. First, he was so loving and caring, remembering small details about me, always asking me about my day, asking what I'm up to, that he thinks we're so similar and that I understand him, and then he wants me to come visit him. We are the same nationality, but he works abroad in a very big city. I come from a small town. Red Rose said the ads, thumbs down. I'm sorry. If you guys have YouTube Premium, you won't see ads, but we normally don't make a lot of money on YouTube, and those being on actually helps us. So that's part of the reason why I went live today. Our YouTube money is fucking way down. So trying to make a little bit of extra revenue for us. He said that I will come to him. He joked about me and my small dog living in his apartment and stuff. I started asking about meeting 2 months into our relationship, but we are still not boyfriend and girlfriend. Somehow he was insecure, afraid, and always saying it's too soon, he's not ready. Long story short, we met. I drove to him 9 hours. I know what you think right now, with my dog, by trains. Crazy night, but this guy's amazing and I wanted to meet him. You only live once, right? We spent 4 days in an apartment, cuddling, having intimate time. It was great. Everything was great. Of course it was, because you guys this is the first time you've ever spent any real time together. You guys should never base your relationship off of long distance sexcapades. Vacation time is not the time to determine whether or not you're compatible with somebody. If you are two people in a long distance relationship and you meet up, fly somewhere, and have a weekend vacation somewhere, that weekend vacation is going to be incredible. You guys are going to fuck a lot. It's going to be great foods, all kinds of laughs. And then when you go back, you're going to miss each other because that's not your normal day-to-day life. And it's just, you're going to get, it's the equivalent of vacation depression. I don't even know what you would call that. What would you call that? Like long distance booty depression? Like, I don't know, but it's the same thing as vacation depression. You go back to the rest of your life and it doesn't feel good anymore because you just had a fucking huge dopamine dump for an entire weekend. She went on to say, I have a job, but only until the end of this month, and I can get days off whenever I want to. He knew that, but didn't tell me to stay longer, and I wanted, but I never said it because I expected him to say it. So unspoken expectations lead to premeditated resentments. I was there Friday to Monday, traveled overnight, spent 2 hours on a cold train station at 2 a.m. waiting for the next train. When I left, he said, you could have stayed longer. Why did you go? I asked him because this was before New Year's Eve and Christmas a month ago. If he wants to spend New Year's Eve with me, he was coming for holidays to our country. He spent this time with his kids. He is divorced and it's confirmed. He was supposed to take me with him on New Year's Eve. Okay, he spent it with kids. Fair, I understand. They are the most important, and I do respect that. Okay, so then why'd you even type that? He was supposed to take me with him by car back to his city and to spend a little time with me, and it's more comfortable than traveling alone for hours. He told me we have to reschedule. He told me I will pay for tickets this time. He didn't before, and you can come in a week or two. Keep in mind, even after I left his place, he kept calling me and texting me all the time, and we would talk for hours. He went back to his place after New Year's Eve. I was upset he didn't take me with him, asked if it was about someone else. Of course not, he said. He accused me of being jealous and suspicious. I simply asked because I don't understand why a man wouldn't want to spend time with me because he has someone else in your side piece. Keep in mind, we are both attractive people. It's not that I'm desperate and can't find anyone. I'm not looking for anyone else. I just care about this man deeply. He went home and we text normally. He calls me, but lately he calls less. Normally he comes home, smokes weed every day, scrolls on his phone, but sends me videos. No mention about us or that he wants to see me. I noticed he has problems with his emotions. He told me he feels bad lately. I think he might be depressed, but he also gets angry easily. He calls me less lately, and when I did call a week ago, he asked when can I come because 2 weeks passed. He said annoyed, not this week for sure. Keep in mind, a few days prior to that, he got drunk and we talked on the phone. He told me he didn't want to meet me after New Year's Eve because he had no money left and even had no money to buy something to eat, and that he wants to take me somewhere and he couldn't afford it. He lives in a better apartment than me and simply earns more money than me, but I never asked for money and never expected him to take me to fancy places. I just wanted to spend time with him. He was actually looking to send you money or for you to send him money. This week has been on a work trip. He comes home today. Before he told me that next week, he also has a work trip from Monday to Saturday. I saw casual pictures from the hotel, so he's not lying. He comes home today and doesn't tell me if we can meet next week. 2 weeks, nothing. I have to look for a new job the next month, but I'm still waiting if we will see each other because I think people bond in real life, not only by texting. I agree with that. Also, he called me a few days ago that he told me a few days ago that he smoked weed and decided he will attend a language school 2 days a week. Wanting to be supportive, I told him that's great. And yeah, it's still about him, not about us. He's telling me about his plans and wants to be there for him to boost his ego to validate him. Also, after being suspicious because he simply ignored my feelings and didn't want to meet with me, he told me in the beginning you had such a good opinion of me, and now I only hear accusations from you. You think bad of me. I don't think bad of him. I just know he felt better in the beginning because no one wanted anything from him. I wasn't asking about real life meetings so he could love bomb me, and I loved it and told him how awesome he is because I believe that he will care. I believe you're a side piece. We are not labeled as boyfriend or girlfriend, yet he states I am important to him when I ask him. He never says he misses me. He gets angry easily when we talk on the phone and starts asking calmly, so can we see each other? He then says, we'll see, and gets angry and tells me it's better to not talk right now because he's not in the mood. It's because he's not alone. He stopped calling me every day after work like we used to, maybe because of a work trip. I don't know. I called him yesterday and he was alone with his colleague, so he had time. Instead, he sends me cute Facebook reels and texts me, and I prefer talking on the phone like we used to. I think he's afraid of commitment. He enjoys living alone, but also needs someone to give him validation, and that's me. Jesus, this is still going. This is a long one. He keeps texting good morning and good night and stuff. Today he sent me a good morning at 8:42 a.m. and knowing I'm always replying fast, he texted me at 8:49 a.m. What the fuck? Thinking it's weird I'm not replying or something, and sending a jokingly meme. He seems like an avoidant. I'm anxiously attached, but it's all because he acted lovingly in the beginning. Also, he needs me because I validate him. That's why he's texting, but it's safe because it doesn't require any effort. I'm done with that. So the questions are, how do I make him afraid to lose me and chase again? Do I reply less, stop calling him? He always called, and I think that's a man's job to call, but when he doesn't, I do. So number one, stop doing that, period. Getting somebody to chase you, you're not an ice cream truck. We ain't doing that. So men, if you're listening, don't fucking chase people. You shouldn't be doing that. You should be pursuing your partner. This fucking back and forth game where you're trying to force somebody to give you attention and chase after you like this is childish behavior. 2, asking him about our quote unquote relationship won't work because he shuts down and gets angry because he doesn't want to commit to you. 3, he told me he's having a very hard time lately. I understand that, but isn't it just an excuse? Maybe he's got somebody else and you're a side piece. 4, should I give him time, be less available, stop asking about when we can meet? This is important because I only have free time right now. When I do get a new job, I won't have any days off. Yes, I think he should come to me too. And if he wanted to, he would. He could just visit me every weekend. Yeah, I would stop asking when he could meet. I would go no contact and see how that goes. I would stop replying, see how that goes. He said he wants to take, this is number 5. He said he wants to take days off when I will come. He just is saving money to provide for me when I visit him, and that stresses him out. That's bullshit. He's wanting you to offer to pay for it. Yeah, you're a piece of ass to him. What do you guys think of that? You think she's a side piece? I think she's a side piece. All right. Somebody said, girl, get a journal, right? That one was not enjoyable. That was long. All right. This one's called, he breaks up with you again and calls you rude for not saying hi. Am I the asshole? Fake names. I am 27 female, met Paul, male 23. 3 years ago at the gym. He's a coach there. Yes, I know I willingly walked into the lion's den, but the hearts wants what the hearts wants. For the first year of my fitness journey, I trained with my brother, Lewis, 24. Lewis has the same sense of humor as Paul, so I was just having fun in the middle. When my brother left the gym, Paul started showing romantic intentions. Fascinating timing. So, one, this is a huge problem. Personal trainers that act as predators in the gym for women who are training should be fired. The place that they got their certification from should be contacted, and if possible, have their certifications revoked. And I would blackball them. I would contact every gym that's in the area and let them know what he's doing, because this is a fucking problem. We had our first date in January of 2024, and the dating phase lasted less than a blink. He ended it the day after the date, claiming that he wasn't ready for a commitment. That's fine. You know, you could have told me that before the date, but that's fine. I'm willing to bet that you guys went on the date and you realized that you weren't all you were cracked up to be, or you fucked, and he realized that he got what he wanted. It was easy because you fucked him on the first date, and that's the end of it. Guys, real shit, ladies, guys aren't going to respect you if you fuck them the first date. I know that there are women out there who believe that that's necessary to try to lock down a man. I promise you that if you fuck on the first date, we don't respect you, period. Because we know that if you've done it with us, you've done it with everyone else that you've gone on a first date with. In April, he shyly, borderline fearfully asked me out again. We went on a picnic. Sorry to disappoint. This one lasted half a blink. He ghosted me mid-conversation while I was asking about his holiday plans. At that point, I figured something was not okay with him, and I backed off completely. Remembered that I had known him for a long time, therefore felt fond of him already. I was hurt, but I never withdrew greetings. I didn't start warming up again until September of 2025. Yes, it's a long time. It took me that long to trust him again while he spent the entire time trying to get close to me. Eventually, I accepted another date. We talked about goals again, and when we were finally on the same page, we both wanted a relationship. Woohoo, we dated for a whole 2 months. And let me tell you that during those 2 months, he acted like a secure partner, consistently. A gentleman, kind of funny, caring in ways I genuinely didn't know someone could care for me. And this wasn't love bombing. No, I've been love bombed before. This was secure love. I hate the phrase love bombing. You're probably thinking, girl, get after everything. Fair. Girl after everything. Fair. But I didn't know the pattern yet, and people can change after a year and a half, right? You know, they can. You wrote wrong, but they can. Out of nowhere, he started withdrawing. We hadn't had any fight or argument. I asked him directly, are we still on the same page? He said yes. He asked me out. We had an emotional and physical intimacy again, so you guys were fucking. 1 year later, breakup message, November 2025, a long essay full of guilt, praise, and wildly contradictory language, both as this is over and maybe one day sprinkled together. I felt absolutely nothing when I read it, expressed my pain calmly. I didn't chase, guilt trip, or argue. That was it. When I went back to the gym, I went full NPC mode. No hi, no eye contact, no asking for help, nothing. Mind you, this was not to punish him, but to protect myself, my body. Didn't want him near me, and I wasn't about to sacrifice my comfort to ease his comfort. That's fair. Ease his discomfort. 1 month post breakup, indirect bids from him, nothing from me. 2 months post breakup, my stepmom, 49, and sister 22 join the gym. Paul becomes unhinged. Neutral 1 second, overfamiliar the next, approaching, ignoring, moody, funny, loud, distant, kind, like someone spinning a personality wheel. I told the girls to act like normal clients at all times because my issues with him were not their problems. I'm getting this motherfucker fired. As somebody that has owned a gym and has 2 personal training certifications and has watched this predatory behavior and this psychosis, he's getting ready to lose his job, and there's a real possibility that I may sue the gym. Mid-January 2026, we're about to go down the stairs together. Anne says to Paul, oh, I almost forgot to say goodbye. And Paul replies, yeah, don't become rude like your sister. Don't become rude like your sister. I didn't hear it. Anne told me about it later. It was almost likely a joke because of his goofy personality. But seriously, does he seriously think I'm trying to hurt him? People have told me to switch gyms, but it's the only gym near my home. It's well equipped. I'm comfortable there. I have friends there. Why should I disappear because he can't regulate himself? Am I the asshole for not saying hi or goodbye? No, you're not the asshole. I would fucking destroy this dude's life. And I mean that. This is one of those things because of my previous work in the fitness industry and being a gym owner. Like, this is such normal behavior with male trainers preying on female clients that, like, yeah. Yep, that's it on that one, guys. I would get him absolutely fucking destroyed. Yeah, this next one's called What the Fuck Do I Do? I don't know, but I like the title. All right. I, 30 female, have been with my boyfriend, 34 male, for almost 3 years. For the past 6 months, we have been trying to work through the fact that he's been cheating on me the entire first 2 years of dating. Why? Why? Why are you trying? You're together for 3 years. And for the first year and maybe 2 years, 2.5 years, he was fucking around with you. Like, what are you trying to fix at this point? When I first found out, I asked normal questions, and for 6 months, he's just lied to me about everything. Gaslighting me and just saying emotionally abusive and withholding information. He's in therapy now and says he's really going to work on himself and change. I'm supposed to join in one session with him and his therapist next week. But after 6 months of the ups and downs and realizing how awful of a boyfriend this person is, I lost all hope. I'm truly disgusted with him and I honestly hate him. We have children and a home together, so I'm trying to be optimistic and power through, but I'm mentally suffering and I've never felt so low in my life. That's because you're allowing your self-worth to be attached to somebody who doesn't value you. And if you're putting your value in the hands of another person who doesn't value you, where's your self-value, right? Unreal. What the fuck do? You leave him. I'm going to take a break from reading these and interact with the chat for a little bit because Fuck people. Lying is my number one turnoff and non-negotiable. Should be. Should be a non-negotiable. How are you going to build a foundation for a relationship on lies? 89 people are still here. Thanks for hanging out, guys. We've been live for almost 2 hours. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. What is this? Is there somebody in the chat right now who goes by Tay23 in our Discord? I needed a shower after searching those. I've painted my entire kitchen in the time that you've been live. Crazy. We were live for 4.5 hours last night. Chris, earlier it was mentioned that you had another question in the ball pit. Yeah, I just pulled it up. I just want to make sure the person that asked it is actually in the chat. Am I the asshole threads make me hate people? Because why the hell do you need to ask for spelling everything out like that? I agree. I have an AirPod in to listen while vacuuming. How small is your kitchen? Okay, so you are in the chat. All right. Are you cool with me reading this live on the thing? Because this is not a Patreon live. This is YouTube. And I'm about to do something that I don't think that I would normally not do. And I'm going to ask you to send a super chat because the other person that got the full attention like you're about to get sent a super chat. And I think it's only fair that you do the same thing so that they don't feel like they sent money to get my attention and you didn't. I'm not saying you got to send me a specific amount. I just think that that's the right thing to do. You guys can let me know if I'm wrong for that. How's everybody's Saturday going? This is the day that normally people are out doing shit, and there's 100 of you not out doing shit. You guys are sitting in your house or sitting wherever you're doing on your phone, hanging out with me. I miss my wife. I don't like that she's not here. And I think that the next time we do one of these in April when she does the other women's retreat, if I don't go, I think I'm going to rent a hotel room and just go and sit in a hotel room so I'm at least there because of what was going on. This morning, I could have helped and done a whole lot more for her if I was there versus being down here. So I do believe that I think I'm going to have to go up there next time. I'm at my shop working and listening. Dang, call me out. Made me remember I'm avoiding laundry. Girlfriend is cooking breakfast. We're both drinking coffee and getting ready for our day. Life is good. That sounds like a good day. You're on my TV and I've been doing tasks all day. Babies have head colds, so indoor chilling is our plans this weekend. Snowing. My plans got canceled today. It's not snowing here. I want to say it's like 70 degrees outside. Yep, 74 and sunny. Chris, you are a good man. I like to believe that I am. I do like to think that I am a good man. I know that I have my shortcomings and I still have flaws that I'm working on, but I am trying to do better. Definitely said some extra prayers after you shared they were going through it down there. It wasn't everybody. It was just a couple people. There were, like I said, there was an issue with parking. It ended up eating up a little over an hour and a half of their time, which became a problem. All right, there's a super chat. Thank you for that. So this says, I want to see it pop up on the screen because I like that. I like that I got the alerts and I changed the text size. So when it pops up on the screen, oh no. It doesn't. I guess I just need to move the chat down, the stuff down a little bit. Okay. Yep. Good to know. All right. This said, I'm ready to leave my boyfriend of 5 years. So let's break that down. You've been with somebody for 5 years now, and they're still your boyfriend. You didn't call them your fiance. You didn't say the father of your child. Although you do have 2 kids together. That's the very next sentence. Excuse me. But you are you are a girlfriend. 5 years. My opinion of that, at 5 years, if you have not become engaged and you are just playing house, that's a problem in itself. We have 2 kids together. I've opened a second bank account for my tax returns to go into, but I haven't told him I'm ready to leave. How do I approach that conversation without getting sucked back in? And how do I set myself and my kids up for success once I leave? Do I need to get custody things set up beforehand? I have a good job with flexible hours and decent pay. For $27 an hour, I have a lot of family support, including his family. Do other people know that you're on your way out the door? That's a good question, right? Especially his family, because if that's the case, somebody has already said something. You're not married. You said boyfriend. So you leaving is just going to be a custody battle with the children. Depending on your state, I would Google the state that you live in and find out if 50-50 is a thing. Because if 50-50 is a thing, you would have to prove him unfit, or he would have to prove you unfit in order to get full-time custody of the kids. Otherwise, it'll be a 50-50 scenario. I don't know what child support will look like in that situation. I don't know if that's something you would even try to pursue. I would probably look into getting a lawyer. I don't understand how you're able to put the tax returns solely into your account. If you guys are filing your taxes separate, are you filing a kid and he's filing a kid? And if that's the case, I mean, that presents other questions that I have. If that's not the case, I mean, if you are filing both children, he would technically should get half of that money. If you're filing one and he's filing one and you're putting all of your money into a savings account for your exodus, I mean, I think that that's fair and you shouldn't have to tell him that. It's none of his business. If you guys are living with both of your incomes split and you guys are paying half and half for things, is your name on the lease? It's a great question. Is his name on the lease? What does your living situation look like? I'm going to wait for answers before I continue. Bell, it would be easier if you sent it to our house. I don't know if you have our physical address, but I'll send it in the WhatsApp chat with you in a little while. Chat's not moving. I'm claiming custody of both kids. We have a month-to-month rental. Well, okay, so I do believe that he should get some of that money for the kids. If he's half of that and you have 2 kids, the correct thing to do, in my opinion, would be to split that. If you're filing head of household and earned income credit and 2 children, for whatever the reason is, and let's say you make $5,000 off of that, he should get $2,500. I believe that that's fair because you're both the parents. And as you get into custody agreements, that's probably going to be how that pans out. I know that with our kids, Peach claims one and her ex-husband claims the other, and that's a thing. I would 100% reach out to a family lawyer in your area and find out what it would cost to have them do a mitigation so that you have some sort of legal binding agreement for custody, finances, what it looks like in terms of if there is a dentist bill, phone calls that will be allowed to have, with the kids when they're with the other parent, timeframes and things of that nature. I meant I'm claiming both taxes on both. I know what you meant. I think he should get half of that money. No, he could do it that way. You could have him claim one and you claim one. It doesn't really matter how that pans out. If you're going to claim both kids though, and you get $5,000 from it, And let's say the earned income credit for each kid is $2,500. Even if you get $8,000 back, he shouldn't get half of your taxes. He should get half of the earned income credit for the child. So that's how I would approach that. You could have him claim one that removes it from you altogether, and you can claim whatever you want and do it that way. As for being on a month-to-month lease, I mean, that would be the cleanest way to do it, honestly, because then you don't have to worry about giving him any money. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. I would take that money and I would go hire a lawyer and I would start getting custody agreements arranged. And then if there's money left over from that and you're able to use that money to move out, I would just move out. I wouldn't even stay beyond the month. You guys are on a month-to-month lease. I would give him like let's say you pay February's rent. I would let him know February 1st, like, hey, I'm leaving at the end of this month. I would reach out to the landlord and be like, look, I'm not staying. We've ran our course. And at the end of this month, I will be leaving. I don't know what he's doing. And I would fucking just start planning my leave. Giving that 1 month notice to the landlord is the right thing to do. Giving him the 1 month notice that you're leaving gives him a month to figure out how he's going to survive. But this is one of those things that doesn't have to get nasty, even though it could potentially get nasty. You know? IT guy said, depending on how much he makes, it could be better to have whoever makes less use the credit, may get more back, and then split it amicably. I agree with that. But I would do that before letting him know that you leave. It's the act of good faith that can help you in court. Yep. Yep. All right. What is happening? Oh. All right, this one is called "Am I the Asshole for Thinking My Boyfriend Was Abusive?" It says English second language in the green box underneath of it. I am a 31 female, currently in a relationship for the past 7 years with my boyfriend, 32 male. I've been living at his place for 4 years, and we're thinking about getting married this year, 2026. At the beginning of this week, he decided to have more health habits. We decided to have more health habits. I'm assuming he went to the gym. We thought it would be a good idea for us to go for walks. Although both of us have a set of keys for the house, I usually leave mine at home. Today, before we went for a walk, I felt upset because he wanted to eat at a bakery and then go exercise. I didn't complain. I didn't think he even noticed. I didn't like it. After that, we went to our usual path to walk and we started to talk about random stuff. He was cursing a lot, which is something that I don't like, and he knows it. I stopped walking and said, I want to go home. Give me the keys. Why? Because I'm angry and I want to be alone. I'll just walk home. No, just give me the keys. Let's go home together. I'll walk faster. I just don't want to go with you. He still refused to give me the keys. Then I said, fine, I'll just walk alone then. After that, I started to walk in another direction. At that point, we weren't far from his house. You called it your house a minute ago. Now all of a sudden it's his house. It was just a 3-minute walk because I walked towards another direction. It took me 5 minutes to go home. When I got there, the doors open, but I was extremely mad. In that 5 minutes that I walked alone, everything crossed my mind. Did he really refuse to give me the keys to our house? So now it's our house again. Okay. Why did he think he had the right to prevent me from going home alone? And when I finally got there, I said, what the fuck was that? Why did you refuse to give me the keys? You can't prevent me from going wherever I want, whenever I want. Boyfriend said the door wasn't unlocked. The door wasn't unlocked, right? I said, it doesn't matter. If I wanted to go home alone, I should be able to do that. I didn't know I was living with a man who would do such a thing. You guys have a really fucking skewed idea of what abuse looks like. She said, I don't need your permission to return home. Do I have the keys with me all the time now? Do you think what kind of man does that? A shit man. A piece of garbage, you're a piece of shit. He didn't say anything after that. He heard everything that I said in silence and then left the house for 30 minutes. When he got back, he knocked on the door. I opened it and we haven't talked for 4 hours. A little bit of context. He was never abusive towards me. He wasn't abusive towards you now. Although we had a problem in the past because of my credit card that I paid with my money, sometimes I would ask him to keep my card in his wallet, and when I would ask him to give it to me so that I could buy something, he would say no because I was buying something that was useless. Did I overreact? Am I the asshole? You obviously have never been abused, and what you did is abusive. You calling him a piece of shit, telling him a piece of garbage, you're a piece of shit, and getting in his face and behaving like that is abuse. Him saying we'll just walk home together and him trying to get you to the house to make sure that you get home safe, in my opinion, is the act of a gentleman. You just fucking turning around and leaving him out there while you guys are supposed to be walking together because you didn't like that he was cussing. You're a fucking child. How about that? You are not the asshole. You are an asshole because of the way that you conduct yourself. I doubt you will ever see this, but I think you're an asshole. Nope. That sounds like a trauma response or manipulation tactics. I agree. Sounds like games from her side. I agree. I think he was just trying to show he wanted to connect rather than control her. I also agree. To me, it sounds like he wanted to continue the conversation to save that moment instead of letting her walk away. Also a fair statement. Yep. It's crazy to me that people fucking type these things out, read them, assuming they proofread it, and then don't go, wait a minute, maybe I overreacted. Okay, this one's called Am I the Asshole for Crashing Out? Hey guys, feeling really guilty and honestly abusive and insane. Started talking to this guy in August. The situation was kind of us hooking up, him ghosting me, is hooking up, him ghosting me. So that was the process. Us hooking up, him ghosting me. Us hooking up, him ghosting me. We were in the same Instagram friend group that I had joined in August that he had been in for over a year. Me, 23 female, him 26. One day he came over and I mentioned I like to trick and spoil my man. I ended up buying him dinner one day and he said he'd return the favor. Favor never came. Long story short, he ended up sweet talking me into sending him $500 every 2 weeks, if not more. First 500, he kept complaining about his son's birthday party and needing help. I sent the first 500 and then he came up with a sob story about a week before saying his BM didn't pay her portion and needed $200 more. I DoorDash after my 8 to 4 RBT and shift until 9 p.m. Every day for a week so that I could send him $50 every single day. Later, I realized when looking up the party venue, the most expensive package was $360. That's one lie out of many. He's told me before that it was okay if I couldn't afford to help him anymore with something, that he had lost his was something, but he'd just robbed someone with a gun. Okay. I skipped a line or something. He told me before that it was okay if I couldn't afford him to help him anymore with something, he would just rob someone with a firearm that she bought for him if I couldn't help him, so it's not a big deal. He switched between calling me his girl and saying I'm not his girlfriend and saying we're leading into a relationship and then saying he's not ready. He's manipulating you and you fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. He got a job at my job after I advocated for him to get it by talking to my manager for him and helping him become a behavior tech at my clinic. I then found out the day I called my manager to get him started onboarding, he had sex with another woman. He kept it a secret from me for weeks until after he started the job. My friend found out and told me. He also had sex with me 2 days after that and didn't tell me. He said it was a mistake. He even criticized her, saying she smells and her house was dirty. And you fell for that. What does that say about you? He also talked to the other girls on Instagram group behind my back after explicitly saying he wouldn't be having sex with other women and wasn't talking to any other girls. I'm not going to continue reading this. This is one of those things that you should have fucking moved on. You shouldn't have been sending him money. You buying somebody a firearm and then him saying that he's going to rob somebody with it. In the event that gun got used in the commission of a crime or whatever they call that, you could be in real trouble for that because it's your weapon. It's depending on where you live. If that weapon is registered to you and it was used in the advent of a crime and it wasn't reported stolen, that's a whole other thing too. Like that, Yeah, you guys need to tighten up. Um, Somebody in the chat said, where can we find a link to the women's group? You find that by going to tobebetter.com/join. It'll take you to our Patreon page where it shows all of the tiers. We have a public women's group and a public men's group that's at the $15 tier. It is behind a paywall that gives you access to our Discord. It also gives you access to all the live streams. We go live several times a week with you guys. There is private women's groups. There's the Women Thrive, which is Peach's lowest tier women's group that has challenges. It's got, I think, a monthly call where it's a group call with everybody. Then there is the Awakened Women, which is her women's mentoring group, I think, where it's a little bit more involved. And then there's the Women Awaken, which is not a women's group. That is the top tier. That is her one-on-one coaching. You get a single call with Peaches privately every month. You get an emergency call in the event that you need it, and then you get everything else from all the previous tiers down. I think that that's the correct information to give you, but you go to tobebetter.com/join and it will show you where all of that is. 100% recommend that if you're looking for a women's group that you at least get into the Thrive, because my wife puts a lot of fucking work into those groups. There is a private room I saw this morning, $1,200 sad, praying for a payment plan or work off the debt. Would love to go. My day is 4/2. Am I missing something? What do you mean? What is that about? Is it that might not even have been for me? I love the group calls. It's my favorite part. Those group situations are really beneficial. This is why we structure the couples retreats the way that we structure the couples retreats. If you're on a group call with 30 other women, at least 3, if not more, of those women are going to be going through the exact same thing that you are. Or it's going to be so fucking similar that when they're telling their story and people are giving advice, you can implement that advice into your day-to-day life, and that is the tribe. That is the entire point of the community aspect. When we do our couples retreats and we've got 10 couples or 8 couples or however many are there, sitting around a table going over the superficial things in their life, everybody that's taking notes is getting all the information to apply it to their life without having to ask those questions. And being that we only get an hour with each couple on the first day where we're doing the group thing, as things get checked off of other couples' lists, they can bring new things to the forefront, which benefits everyone. Then on Sundays, we do individual one-on-one coaching where we go to a private room with a couple and we work on them one-on-one about what's going on in their life, and they're able to get into the real nitty-gritty of what's going on, in terms of a couples retreat. And then, there's a lot of downtime to hang out and do shit. Couples retreats are a lot of fun for you guys if you've never been to one of them. We are talking about the retreats. We have one room left for the couples retreat at the end of this month. And then I believe she's got 5 rooms available for the April women's retreat. But if you guys want to go to the April's women's retreat, you can share a room. So if 2 of you want to go and you don't want to spend, the $1,200 or whatever it is, I don't know. They're all priced differently because of what we're doing. Basing on that, you can share the room so that it reduces the cost. Food is included at the retreats, so that you just have to pay for your room because you're renting the room, and then you got to figure out how to get there. Death Clan said, don't forget the men's private group, small, but so far it's massive for the men. I do have a men's group. Real shit, I don't understand why men don't join the men's group and partake and do, because I get value even hosting that, even though we're not super active the way that the women are in the women's group. We don't need it the same way they do. Excuse me, men not being emotional creatures means that we're really good with taking direction, doing the thing, and growing from it. Real shit. If you are a man that listens to the podcast and you want to level your life up, I would 100% join my men's group. I like the idea that you guys floated to do a men and women's group at the same time and end with the couples coming together. Yeah, we had talked about doing, like, trying to rent an Airbnb that's got 2 separate buildings and doing, like, men go over here, women go over here. We toyed with that. We toyed with doing a co-ed retreat where we had bunk bed rooms. So, like, all the women got in one room and all the men got in one room, and we can just separate and do it like that. But I don't know how any of that will ever work. So my day is 4/2. I don't know what that means. I do know that this will be the April's women's retreat will be the last retreat that we book. We have something going every month until July. I think July or August. So anything that we do that has not already been announced won't happen until Q4. And being the way that the last couple retreats have went with the Q4 bookings and it being hard around the holidays, we may not do anything else until 2027. So we'll figure out how that works. This next one's called, Am I the Asshole for Telling My Girlfriend I Need Space After an Argument Instead of Texting? Still 100 people in here. Thank you guys for rocking with me today, man. This is so cool. We normally don't have this many people sitting in here all the time. Well, I normally don't have this many people rocking with me when it's just me online. But my girlfriend and I have been together for a little over a year. We usually communicate a lot through texting, especially when something is wrong. You shouldn't do that. Shouldn't text message like that. You guys should have real conversations face to face because you're missing 80% of the communication. Tone, body language, inflection. You're missing a lot by not actually having real conversations. I understand that this generation is so used to communicating digitally that talking in real life makes them uncomfortable. But there's a reason that we communicate the way that we do. She likes to talk things out right away, even if emotions are still high, and I'm more the opposite. When I'm upset, I need time to cool off to sort out my thoughts before saying anything. A few days ago, we got into an argument about something small that turned bigger than it needed to be. It was about plans that we had and how they fell through. Voices weren't raised, but it was tense and uncomfortable. I could feel myself getting more and more irritated the longer we talked, and I knew that if I kept going, I might say something I'd regret. So I told her I needed some space and that I didn't want to text for a bit. I said it wasn't about ignoring her or punishing her. I just needed time to calm down and think, and I told her I would reach out later when I was in a better headspace. This is healthy. It's healthy. She didn't take that well. She said it felt like I was shutting her out and that not texting her made her anxiety worse. So she should be working on her anxiety. If you text message her, if you text messaged her and said, I'm really fucking irate right now, I'm flooded, I need space, I will text you in an hour or two so that I can calm down and we can continue this conversation from a calm place, and she then made it about her and anxiety and tried to force you to have that conversation, this is improper communication. This is going to create bigger problems. This is her not respecting your needs and trying to force you to comply to whatever it is that she needs to happen to feel okay, instead of you taking the time to self-regulate because you're the only one who can regulate your emotions, and her doing the same thing. Instead, she's looking for you to regulate her emotions, and when you don't do it, it becomes a fucking problem. This is problematic behavior, guys. When I finally did text her later, she was still upset. She said I handled it badly and that going quiet made things worse, not better. From my side, I felt like I was trying to be responsible by not escalating the argument. Now, I keep replaying in my head, wondering if asking for space instead of texting her was unfair or immature. I didn't mean to hurt her, but I also think that forcing a conversation when I'm upset helps neither of us. Am I the asshole? No, you're not the asshole. This is one of those things that is, shout out to 2BB competitor. What? I'm putting a 2BB tribe member on stage this season. Oh, that competitor. That's fucking gangster. Where's that happening at, Bell? And is it somebody that's in the Discord? She is manipulating him. I actually agree that it's manipulation. I believe that this is the problem with not being able to self-regulate. This is no different than a man punching the hole in the wall because he can't control his temper. If you are a woman who constantly needs your man to validate you and cannot handle him going, babe, I'm upset right now, I need 45 minutes to an hour to get my thoughts back, to come and have a conversation, and you continue to push and probe and get aggressive and blame your anxiety and tell him that he's the fucking problem and he's making things worse, what you're saying is that you are not able to regulate your emotions enough to take 15 minutes or an hour or however long they need to get your nervous system back in order, take some breath, meditation, and then come back and have a normal conversation. In this situation, you're the fucking problem. He's taking the time because he needs to regulate. He's doing the right thing. He's not putting his hands on you. He's not calling you names or screaming and yelling. He's not flipping tables or punching holes in the wall. You're the fucking problem in this, lady. That's all there is to that. Summer Shredding Show. Yes, it's a Discord member. When we talk on WhatsApp later with the address for supplements, I want to talk to you about that. I think that depending on the situation, Peaches and I may want to. I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you about that privately. That doesn't need to be on the live stream. Oh man. 2 hours and 23 minutes. Fucking doing the thing. Don't know if it's internet or not. My ex would put holes in the wall, then say it wasn't you, was it? That is a scare tactic. Somebody saying that it wasn't you, was it, when punching holes in the wall is a backhanded way of letting you know that it could have been you and that you should be grateful that they're only punching holes in the wall. This is a scare tactic. This is one of those things that is psychological manipulation to make you afraid. Good for you for not fucking being there. Dana said we're going from 60s today to snow in the morning. It's 75 out here right now where I'm at. This next one's called, Am I the Asshole for telling my fiance he can't buy his dream wedding gift? Okay, let's read this because I've already got an opinion. As you would imagine, my fiance and I are getting married soon. No, really? Is that how that works when you're, calling them your fiance? Does that mean you're getting married soon? Wild. We both do quite well financially. He makes a little more than me. We have been living in an apartment we bought together around 2 years ago. So you don't live in an apartment, you live in a condo if you bought it. Pretty sure you can't buy a condo. Shout out to Danielle Eva 14 for the $1 super chat. It's only $1, but that $1 matters to me and I appreciate it. We share all of our finances. My fiance is very into wine and regularly adds to his collection. His tastings with friends, reads about wine history, etc. And I'm not at all against his hobby, but occasionally high spending on it since I somewhat enjoy it too. But his dream, he revealed to me recently, was quite past the line for me. His only personal dream for our wedding is to have a certain special bottle of champagne that he wants. I'm not at all against him sharing a special bottle of wine with me during our reception, but the only problem is that his dream champagne bottle is around $20,000. It will be a Magnum bottle, 1.5 liters instead of the 750 milliliters, but still, that's beyond insane for me. He thinks I'm being unreasonable by completely disapproving and not allowing him to buy it since it's his dream. We can easily afford it, definitely not completely true at all, and I'll be enjoying it as well. Am I the asshole? Edit, $20,000 is a reasonably large percentage of the total wedding cost. What do you guys think about that? Paused the live, then came back to the room and put it on 1.5 playback speed. And to catch up, my boyfriend was like, wow, he talks super fast, not knowing that I did it. I laughed so hard. That's funny. That's funny. Guys, being that I have had bottles of whiskey that I have bought on numerous occasions that were between $2,500 and $5,000. Doing it at events to write it off on my taxes at one point years ago. I understand that alcohol can be expensive. If you are able to buy something like this to have it on your wedding day, knowing that this is going to be a one-off thing and you would never be able to do this again, and this is something that means something to you, I could see it being a discussion. I would not, if Peaches was like, I want a $20,000 bottle of wine for our anniversary, I would think that that's absolutely crazy because I don't drink wine and I would rather have whiskey, even though I don't drink at all anymore. And I would not tell her no. We would have a discussion about it. I would want to understand why she wants to spend that much money on a bottle. I would give her all of the other things that we could do for $20,000. I have credit cards that have limits higher than that, and it would be very easy for me to put one of those on a credit card and finance it to do that to make her happy if I wanted to. Would I do that? I don't know. For $20,000, we could go to New Zealand, or we could go to Hawaii. We could go to Iceland. We could fly in a private jet from Florida to Las Vegas and back. There's a whole lot of things that you could do for $20,000 that is going to last a lifetime of memory, long beyond the taste of that bottle of wine. So for me, I would say that this is a bad investment. Soul Story said, I know a lady who spent $20,000 on a dress, so I don't know. It might be equal if it's affordable. I mean, I guess it's a good way to look at it. I think that spending that kind of money on a wedding is dumb. Like across the board, I think that spending that kind of money on a wedding dress, doing this big elaborate thing so that everybody can see you walk down the aisle and doing all of that is dumb. You know who needs to see you walk down the aisle? Your fucking man. That's who needs to see you walk down the aisle. Watching Peach walk to me, my woman walking to me to commit to me for the rest of my life and to the rest of her life, like that's what matters. All of these other people who want to be involved in your wedding and throw flowers and play music and be forced to go even though they don't really give a shit that you're getting married, they're only doing it because you invited them. And fuck all that. All of that money that could be spent on a wedding, you guys could go get married somewhere exotic. For $20,000, you could go spend a night in the Maldives. Like, there's so many things that you could do for 20 grand. Like, nope. Yeah, $20,000 is a lot of money. I think that's it. I think we're out of these. Oh, there was one more he copy and pasted. This one says, appreciate the joke he made in front of his friends. Hi, everyone. I'm still going back and forth about this in my head, so I figured I'd ask here. Last weekend, my husband and I had a few friends over, nothing fancy, just pizza, drinks, and hanging out in the living room. I get along fine with his friends, but I'm definitely quieter than they are. They joke around a lot, mostly harmless stuff. At one point, the conversation turned to relationships and marriage. One of his friends joked about how his girlfriend runs the house. Everyone laughed. And then my husband chimed in and said something like, well, at least I don't have that problem. Mine just overthinks everything and gets sensitive over nothing. Everyone laughed. I laughed too, but honestly, it didn't feel good. It felt like one of those laughs where you do it so it stings less and doesn't get awkward. The moment passed quickly and the conversation moved on, but that comment stayed with me. I kept replaying it in my head for the rest of the night. After his friends left, I told my husband that the joke bothered me. I didn't appreciate it. I didn't appreciate being talked about like that in front of his friends, even if he meant it as a joke. I wasn't yelling or anything. I just explained how it made me feel. He immediately got defensive. He said I was proving his point by being sensitive. I actually thought that by reading what you said, that his friends didn't mean anything by it and that I embarrassed him by making it a thing. He also said couples joke about each other all the time and that I should just let it go. Man, there's truth in jokes. This is really how he feels about you. And he did that shit in front of his friends to be like a ha 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 thing. And you don't like the shit because you know that there's truth in jokes. I also don't like couples fucking with each other like this. I get into that afterwards. I try to explain to him that I'm fine with jokes, but I don't like being put down in front of other people, especially over something he knows I already struggle with. He said I was overthinking it and that I ruined a otherwise good night. Now I'm wondering if I should have just kept it myself, maybe being too sensitive, or maybe I should have brought it up later or not at all. But at the same time, it didn't sit right with me, and I don't think it's wrong to say when something hurts. So one, if you have something that's going on that makes you feel fucked up, you absolutely should talk to your partner. You should 100% have a conversation about what's going on that's making you feel fucked up. You deciding that it's not worth having the conversation, and this becoming a regular thing, it's one thing to pick and choose your battles, guys. It's another to suppress what is going on with you on a regular basis, because eventually you're going to feel less about yourself. What's the point of bringing it up? They're going to take it a certain way. They don't love me enough to change. I'm always the problem. Self-deprecation. And eventually you become a shell of a person. That's problematic behavior. On the couples roasting things, Peaches and I fuck with each other constantly, but there is never an ugliness to it. Saying, oh, well, my wife is just oversensitive and blah, 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 blah. Like, that's an attack. That is an attack on a personality trait. It's not the same thing as, me and Peaches stuttering over our words and her flicking me off, or, me telling her she sounds like a Muppet. And there's like playful banter that happens in the moment while we're laughing and having fun. I would never attack her character, period. let alone in front of a group of people. People are fucking wild to me. It's wild. I don't feel like a man would do that to their woman. I don't either. I want a Louis V purse, but I have a kid getting ready for college. Peaches has a bunch of Louis stuff. First time I took her to a Louis store, she didn't know what to do with herself. I have a picture of her standing in there, and it's funny because I'm in there in like jeans and a t-shirt looking like a complete slob, and she's dressed all up. So like we've got two very different styles standing in there, and all these people that are coming in that you can tell are clearly upper class, fucking dropping $20,000-$30,000 on purses and shit, and she's in there looking at stuff, and I got her like a duffel bag, a handbag to match, and then a pair of shoes that ended up not fitting her properly. And we couldn't take them back because that was, you know, like once they left the store, they wouldn't let you return them or whatever. I wonder if she still has those. That might be something we might want to try to get rid of or sell or something. I'm sure that they have like a new used Louis connection somehow. But yeah, so we she's a Louis person, so I get the whole Louis bag thing. When we were in Vegas, might have been the third or the fourth time that we went out there. I'm in a tank top and shorts, my sneakers. She always dresses well. She always looks good, and damn, she always looks good. Anyways, we walked into this fucking Louis store and nobody acknowledged us. Not a hello, not I'll be with you in a minute. Like, this is a 3-floor Louis store, and we went through all 3 floors before we finally found somebody. And when I found somebody, I was like, hey, is there a manager here? And the lady was like, I'm a manager. And I'm like, I just want to let you know that I came in here to buy her a purse. We've been here for 45 minutes and not a single person has said a word to us. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. We'll find someone, blah, blah, blah. And the manager ended up helping us check out. And the person that I initially caught, I was like, I need a manager. Nobody's talked to us, blah, 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 blah. We ended up spending a whole lot of money. And I made it a point to look at that person as we were leaving and be like, this could have been your commission, but you made it a point not to talk to us. I was pretty nasty about that. Chris, do you have any advice on disciplining a 14-year-old? He's become so angry and disrespectful in the last few months. Co-parenting with his dad is a complete narcissist, is non-existent. I would take him camping. I would take him somewhere out of the element where it's just the two of you for the weekend. Go fishing, go camping, go on a road trip, fly somewhere to Niagara Falls. I would go spend an entire weekend with him and have conversations about what's going on in his life to better understand his perspective of things. Because kids acting the way that they do normally comes from a place of I don't give a fuck or a place of hurt. And if it's from a place of I don't give a fuck, you connecting with him over 72 hours could give him a new perspective on life. And it's coming from a place of hurt. You being the sounding board could be the man that he needs to show him that like it's okay to talk to people. Rehoming Louis V bags. The real for reselling Louis V. What do you want to do now? I have an SFW one, a few random ones, and that's about it. You don't have to post anymore. I'm kind of bored with those. I'm going to hang out with the chat and just bullshit with you guys. I'll answer questions. We can do whatever we want to do. Maybe take a break and come back in a little while and go live for Patreon. I don't know. I'm gonna just kind of vibe with the chat for a bit. Just the lighting in those stores make my sensory issues go crazy. We love your love for Peach. Fills a cup of hope in the world for sure. I love my wife. She's my best friend. I paid for my Louis bag and wallet and a roll of cash and they gasped. Yeah, I've done the same thing. I've walked into a Louis store once holding 50 grand in my backpack in cash because tattoo industry, tattoo business owner. And if I can spend that cash somewhere, that's the thing. Our man has lost enough weight that our hands now touch when we hug him. And we are so proud of him. I love that. Good for him. My fiance quit a desktop position that he was making significantly more to go back to hospital position that pays less due to the mental health and that the death job was causing him. Okay. Mental health matters. I'm at work right now at the Real Real. We are in AZ. What is the Real Real? Is that actually a secondhand Louis store? He's been job searching for months and doesn't seem to get any interviews. I'm constantly telling him to go into the places to talk to someone, but he doesn't seem to do anything. It's because he doesn't want to. I'm a firm believer of going in and talking to somebody for a job. I don't believe that putting an online application is going to get you anywhere. And maybe that's the old school version of me. I learned when I was a little kid that when you go and apply somewhere, you go back the next day. You don't call. You go back and you go back and you go back to let them know that you're serious about the job. I had a job when I was a kid that I wanted so bad that I was there every morning when the store opened. I never got the job, but I showed up every day for like 3 weeks and was like, hey, are you guys hiring yet? Are you hiring yet? I hope to have my husband see me the way you see Peach. I'm working through it and holding us together until he is ready to heal also. Life has had a hard start for us. Shit takes a toll. Life can kick you in the fucking teeth sometimes. How you decide to handle that matters. It's a resell for designer items. They quality check and get great prices. Is that something that we can do online? Because I have those Louis shoes that I bought her, I want to say were like $5,000. And she literally wore them in the store and they were okay. And she's worn them in the house once since then. They've never even touched concrete. They are fucking new. And they have the box. That's totally old school. Yeah, I'm going to go talk to people. You guys think that managers don't have a say in who they hire and that everything just goes through the online and like they do interviews and the online institution hires people? That's not how it works. Most businesses, I would say probably 90%, the manager that's working the shift that's hiring is the one who's doing the hiring. I didn't go in, but I called every day after I put in my application until someone no-showed and I was hired on the spot. Love that. You should shake their hand if possible and look them in the eye. I agree. Shree Dillon said, thanks for the advice on Sun. Hi from Ireland. Well, thank you for the super chat. Love that. Danish said, I do all of my hiring for my location. I worked at a Papa John's when I was a kid. Got fired. Made a really big deal about stepping on a bug in front of somebody. Like in front of a whole lobby full of people. But my manager at the time was also kind of a fuckface. And had that coming. Yep. I also lied about how old I was and gave a fake social security number so I could get hired, but I walk about 7 to 8 hours a day after dropping off my babies at daycare, then do my rounds until I pick them up. That's a lot of walking. Your boots are made that way. Before I met my husband, when I was trying to find a job, I would go in every store, gas station, etc., daily asking, do you have an opening, small town? You guys got to think bigger than that. There's no money in working in gas stations. And like, granted, you can get a job there and it's better to have a job than no job for sure. But I would take anything I could get until I found a job that I actually wanted. A lot of our financial stress is put on me because I make more than him, but it's now taking a toll on my mental health. Have you actually told him that? Have you actually had that conversation? Hey, I know that you're trying to get a job, but what's happening right now is starting to fuck with my mental health and I'm not okay. And as my husband, I need you to step up and get your shit in line because you're supposed to be standing in a place of power right now. And me standing in this power and making sure that we're okay is pulling me out of my feminine and making me stand in my masculine. And if I have to do this by myself, then what's the point of being married? I know that that's fucking harsh, but sometimes men need to hear that shit. If Peaches ever came to me and said, you're failing as a husband, it would fucking break me. Oh my God, just saying that out loud makes me upset. Danish, you've worked at the same place for 14 years? That's crazy. He says he's trying, but he's kind of half-assing it. It sounds like he's not actually trying at all. Putting in applications online is not trying. That's killing time. Men should want to do whatever it takes to do better by their wife. They have to step up. I agree. I also don't believe, no offense to the person that's saying this, I'm speaking solely to Belle and what she said. I don't believe that every woman is worth stepping up for. There are a whole lot of men who are in relationships with women they can't stand, and they're not going to do more than is required of them because they don't have a reason to. Because of what I have with my wife, I want to do better every single day because she deserves it. Like, I've never been treated the way that she treats me, ever. Like, that's just, I am fucking happier than a pig in shit every day because of my wife. So I try to make sure that she has everything she could ever want because of it. And the things that she wants is a good husband. So that's what I have to do. It's not always a fucking financial thing. Hello. Would you recommend for or against tapping into a 401k savings to pay off a large amount of debt that you haven't been able to pay down? Debt from being laid off a year. It depends on so it depends on how much you have and how much if you have $100,000 in your 401k and pulling that money out is going to penalize you 50%, and then you got to pay taxes on that 50%, and you end up with $30,000 out of $100,000, no, it's not worth it. That's a $70,000 loss. It's absolutely not worth it. If you were able to pull your 401k and roll it into a Roth IRA without being penalized, that's something I would look into, because your 401k, when you pull it out, is going to get taxed. A Roth IRA is not going to get taxed. That money gets taxed as it goes in, so that when you pull your money out, if there's a millionaire, you're a millionaire. Like, so that would depend on the numbers. That's absolutely a numbers thing. I was just 18, no license. Parents kicked me out and I asked everywhere for a place I could work. Didn't care if it was a gas station or being a butler. I was desperate, and because of the dedication, I got a job. Yep. Rot on my couch and watch YouTube videos of other people playing Minecraft. Dude, get your ass a job. Yeah, that was the final straw to light a fire under my husband's ass when I told him he was failing me as a husband, and I also took responsibility for what I was lacking in. We were working hard to rebuild. Love that. Love that. I worked under the table at a donut shop. I would work 8 to 10 hours at PJ's and then 8 hours at the donut shop. Never had time to party as a teen. I was busy making bank. That's what's up. Holy moly, donut shop. What, in your opinion, makes a man see a woman as someone who is worth elevating for? That is a great question. Will surprised me with a PC last week, and the day he bought it, he spent all day in the shed building me a desk for it. I literally feel the love in my bones. I knew he bought you that PC. He was bragging about it. What, in your opinion, makes a man see a woman as someone who is worth elevating for? Oh, man. I don't want to give you a bullshit lame answer. What, in your opinion, makes a man see a woman as someone who is worth elevating for? I don't think it's a matter of seeing them. Like, I don't think it's a matter of him seeing the woman as someone worth. I think it's a matter of her being worth it. And I say that because perception's reality, right? And we can view a woman as a good thing for a while until that rose-colored glasses come off and we no longer see that and realize that we were being taken advantage of or lied to or manipulated or whatever the case may be. For me, first and foremost, a woman needs to be my woman needs to be my peace. I need to know that if I'm coming home from a long day of work and she's fucking willing to take my boots off and rub my feet, even though my feet stink, and fucking make me dinner and make my life easier so that I can get up tomorrow morning and go out and kill myself to bring the bacon home and fucking do that, that's a big deal to me. I'm not trying to have a nagging, complaining, bitching all the time person in my life. I can have misery on my own. I don't need to have somebody that's constantly disrupting what I'm trying to build and do. My job as a man is to make sure that my family is taken care of. Provision doesn't necessarily mean finances. It's spiritual, it's mental, it's financial, it's legacy. There's a whole lot of things that goes into what makes me a good man. And if I'm going to be a good man, I need a woman who's going to match that good woman behavior. And to me, that good woman behavior is not fucking complaining all the time. It's not taking the days where I'm having a really bad day and fighting with me because I'm not in the best of moods, or because I'm tired tonight, or maybe I missed something that should have been super important to everybody because you can tell that I'm not okay right now. So many people get hung up in the way that they feel about things and viewing life through their own cognitive bias and their own lens of how important they are, that they forget to actually take a look at their partner and truly see their partner. You know, in the movie Avatar where they're like, I see you. There's a difference between being with somebody and actually fucking seeing your person. So if you look at your man and your man is beat the fuck down and he's struggling and he's mentally not okay and he's not been the normal happy-go-lucky for himself for weeks, and something doesn't go your way and you blow up on him and make it a huge fucking ordeal, and you're just compounding all of that shit that he's already going through and now stacking all of this other shit that you shouldn't be bringing to him right now while he's trying to fucking survive, you're not a good woman, right? Like, there's a whole lot that goes into all of that. I hope that made sense. That's my answer. That's my answer. Hey, my wife is texting me. Love that. She said she misses me. New subscriber. The financial provision, in my opinion, has hardly ever been the thing that caused the issue. It's the other provisions for me, mainly emotional. It's hard for men to be emotionally supportive and emotionally providing to a woman. You guys don't understand how many of us have never been told to process our emotions. I have watched young ladies be told how to work backwards to find out what the course of their actual issue is, and to tell them that it's okay to feel a certain way. It's okay to cry. It's okay to realize that you're not being respected and all of these things. But men are told to shut the fuck up. Men are told that if you come to your person with something that you're not okay with, you're controlling. You're not allowed to have boundaries because that makes you controlling. You're not allowed to go to your woman and cry and let her know that, like, you're not okay and that you're thinking about eliminating yourself because that's socially unacceptable. And if you do that, when you do that, she's going to use it as a weapon against you, and she's going to tell all your friends that you're a little bitch. And like, all of these things, we have it stacked against us. And I'm not saying that it's an excuse for men, because it's fucking not. If you're a man, you have had every opportunity in your life to do the fucking work to not be in that situation and to realize that it's okay. And if you have people in your life that is not willing to listen to you cry and is throwing your emotions in your face and treating you like a bitch because you have a bad day, you need to find somebody else that's not your person. Oh, I rewatched the first Avatar recently and cried over the connection to nature because I actually understood it. Yep. Ever since I've been bringing my full self to my relationship, my husband has leveled up and became a whole higher person version of himself. I watched To Be Better and applied it, what Peaches says, and the results are fire. I don't like putting up with the crap phrasing. How can we reframe that? Is there a point where taking his boots off won't make him feel like he must reciprocate? I like how can it be understood that it isn't transactional? You mean like he tries to take your shoes off too? Because that sounds like a transactional thing. It is transactional. Everything in marriage is a transaction. Literally everything in your marriage is transactional. You may not view it that way, but your emotion is a joint account. And all of the intimacy and all of the deposits that you put in to make sure that each other is okay so that one can withdraw while the other's putting in, and vice versa, it is transactional. If he comes home from work and you take his boots off and he's grateful for it and feels like, the king of the castle, and like you let him know you're doing it because you appreciate the hard work that he does, and then he changes your oil and makes sure that your brakes are good and like your car is safe, and he's making sure that your kids are well taken care of, however you want to word that, that's the transaction. Your reciprocation and the gratitude that you're putting in and taking his boots off should be returned in a different location. And if he's trying to take your shoes off for you as well, because he's trying to do the exact same thing because he doesn't know how to show his gratitude, you coach him. Hey, I'm doing this because I see you. I see how hard you work. I'm taking your dirty ass boots off because I have pride in those feet, because I know that you don't want to get up and go and kill yourself every day, but you do it because you're providing a life for us. And I love you and I'm grateful for that. If you want to reciprocate that and show me that you're grateful for the work that I do in our marriage, here's some things that you can do that will show me the same affection and the same love that you feel when I take your boots off. It's a conversation. Because of their mourning, they haven't gotten a single seminar yet done, and it's already 2:25. I fucking hate that. Absolutely hate that. Me taking his boots off makes him feel like he must immediately find something to reciprocate with. Yeah, you got to have conversations about it. Read His Needs, Her Needs. There is a very good breakdown on how the love bank works in it. Yeah, I think I have that book. How many people are in here? 96 people. Damn, y'all are still hanging out, still rocking with me. At this point, I don't even think this is very entertaining, but thanks for being here. If you guys haven't yet, like the video and share it. It really helps. I stepped up and started being a better partner for my girlfriend, started doing the same thing. It takes two. Yep, it does. Praying everything gets better for Peach. We love and miss you. I do miss my wife. The nurturing aspect of some of these behaviors fills a cup in me I never knew I had in me. I love loving my husband like that. His Needs, Her Needs is the book. It's on the reading list. Good. This is entertaining. I'm glad. We just like hanging out with you. I appreciate the shit out of that. Yes, only time transactions can be an issue is scorekeeping and withholding to keep it even. Yeah, that's punishment though. There's definitely a difference between trying to work through problems and punishing your partner. Lee Priest has "It's not revenge, it's punishment" tattooed on his forearms. And I thought about that for a long time. And it's one of those things that was just one of those phrases that made me really, truly reflect. Another one is like today. Dude, you'd be surprised at where you get gold nuggets from if you actually sit down and journal about the things that you hear. The thing that I heard today is that there's too many homes and not enough houses. That fucking shook me at my core. I really want to break societal norms with this family that I've got. If I can ask a follow-up question, how can a woman not add to a man's problems but also communicate her issues? By doing the check-ins without nagging. So nagging is the delivery, right? If sorry guys, my wife is more important than you are. She misses me. She just wants me to call tonight after she's done so that we can just talk on the phone. That's love. This is the first time since we started dating, since we made ourselves like an official thing, that she's been gone away from me for more than 12 hours, and I hate it. Other way around, too many houses, not enough homes. Isn't that what I said? That was the phrase, too many houses, not enough homes. If I said it backwards, that was an unintentional slip. That was the phrase though, too many houses, not enough homes. So on the nagging thing, nagging is the way that you deliver the thing to your person. You always, you never, I fucking told you. Any type of aggression is very different than a gentle reminder, or we had a conversation about this last week. I'm just reminding you that you said that this was going to be a thing. Whatever. You want to switch the nagging, and instead of waiting until it gets to the point of those things failing, you give positive reinforcement instead. Last time I compared humanity to dogs, there were people in the chat who got really upset, and I'm about to do it again. So if any of you are going to have a problem with me comparing humans to dogs, this is your exit strategy. You should just go ahead and leave. Positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement trains behavior. If you think I'm wrong, look at the way that parents raise their children. Shame, blame, judgment, and guilt works more than physical punishment. And women All of you fucking know that better than anyone because, oh, you're going to wear that? Well, I fucking was, Becky. Now what? You don't like my dress? What the fuck? Now you're in there looking in the mirror on 900 different pairs of clothes and shoes trying to find something that's more socially acceptable because some offhanded fucking under the breath comment. Shame, blame, judgment, and guilt are the most like manipulative, controlling things. And when you use speech patterns that way, you are doing more harm to your person than good. If you guys have a check-in and you have a really good conversation and one of you says, I'm going to start doing X, Y, and Z, and the next day you see them doing X, Y, and Z, you fucking tell them you recognize it. Hey, you just did, for example, we had somebody here saying that their man needs to be more physically active. He should start doing push-ups at night before bed or doing them in the morning. We got a super chat. I'll get to the super chat. I'm doing push-ups, guys. I tore half my titty off. I was doing dips with 135 pounds around my waist when I was 225 pounds. So I was doing dips with like 350 pounds almost. Your pec ties in underneath of your front deltoid, and it ties in underneath of your bicep onto your humerus. My pec detached from my humerus and came in here. My titty's not right because of it. I'm operating at like 55% attached pectoral, and it hurts to do any type of pressing movement because I'm not operating at full capacity. And at one point, I could do 100 push-ups like it was nothing. No break, no stop, full chest to floor, like, just go. I was super fucking in shape. I can't do that now. I had a conversation with my buddy Chris in the chat. We're now doing push-up competitions every single day because both of us are a little out of shape. And like, I'm having to rehabilitate my titty, and I'm doing push-ups. First night I did push-ups, Peaches didn't go, oh, you only got 6 or 5 or whatever my number was. She didn't go, oh my God, is your titty okay? She's like, damn, you look good doing them push-ups. So the next set I did, she watched. And the third set I did, she watched. And the next night when I did push-ups, I did it in front of her instead of off to the side of the couch so she could actually watch. And knowing that she's paying attention to what I'm doing and that she's hyping me up is holding me accountable. Now, does that mean that she needs to tell me before bed, babe, you didn't do your push-ups? No, because that's not her responsibility. It's mine. But because she gave me positive affirmation, if she gave me a gentle reminder, that gentle reminder could then like be like, damn, no push-ups tonight? Like, I don't get to see that back doing that back thing. Like, I got to see your tushy. I don't get to see your tushy now. Like, there's ways that you can have conversations to move progress forward without nagging. That super chat said, thank you for being the parent I never had. You're welcome. And I'm sorry that you didn't have the parent that you needed. I didn't either, and that's why I became the man that I did. Sometimes I feel mentally stuck. I always feel better when I finally release and let my husband in, but I have a hard time getting there because I feel like my plate is too large. I do communicate and he does help. I just don't want to sit in the mental anguish for as long as I do. The check-ins, guys. Do the fucking check-ins. I don't think you guys understand the importance of that. When we started this entire thing, our podcast, even though we say all the time it started as a joke, it started because of the check-ins. We talked about it. We did a couple of TikToks about the check-ins, and people were like, oh my God, I love your relationship. You guys should go live. And we went live, and we did multiple live streams about the check-ins, talking about how to do them, the process, why they matter, how the communication starts, blah, 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 because it was something that we put together to work through our shit because of all of the mental health struggles that I was having in the beginning of this and not wanting to repeat bad behaviors from past relationships. And over time, it went from 3 questions to 10, and now it's 4 pages. If you guys are not willing to sit down with your person and at least attempt to get through the check-ins, whether it's an hour or 2 hours or however long it takes, what you're actually saying is that the relationship is not enough of a priority to you to simply have a conversation with your person. First time catching a live. Thanks for being here. The check-ins ? So the check-ins are, there's a playlist here on YouTube that's like 4 or 5 videos that covers what the check-ins actually are and how to do them. Then there's other videos like repair, I versus you statements, and other communication tips. If you go to tobebetter.com, there's actually a PDF download that you can download of the questions. but they are the whole point of the check-in is to treat your meeting like a report card. You schedule it. Thursday night, we don't have anything going on from 6 to 9 o'clock, so I would like to do a check-in with you. Okay, great. Nothing bad. We're just going to sit down and we're going to go through a list of things, and we are going to give each other report cards or a performance review. You can look at it as a Google review. And we're going to sit down. She's going to sit in my lap. All right. We haven't done this in a long time for you guys. When we do check-ins, Peaches straddles me. She sits across body so that we are face-to-face and we are physically connected. And we are having in-depth, deep eye conversation. Doesn't matter if there's stinky breath. Doesn't matter if there's an uncomfort. Doesn't matter if my back hurts. Doesn't matter if she doesn't want to sit there. We are doing the check-in. She is in my fucking lap and we are facing each other. And I'm holding on to her. She's holding me, right? And we are having a conversation. How is your mental health? Number one question. How is your mental health this week? Or however long it's been since the check-in. We have a conversation about mental health. How am I doing as a husband? She gives me the honest answer of what I'm doing right or wrong as a husband. You know, how am I doing? Scale of 1 to 10. Am I at a 6? Am I at a 3? What can I do better this week to serve you better as your husband? Those were the 3 initial questions for the check-in. Since then, we've developed parenting, we've developed finances, we've developed self-care. There's a whole lot of things that go into those. But when you ask your person, how am I doing as a husband, and what can I do better as a husband, you are asking for a report card. You are asking somebody to grade your performance on a scale of 1 to 5 or 1 to 10 or 1 to 3 or whatever you decide to do. And then you are taking that data, not from a place of fuck you, but from a place of I'm asking for this so that I have the ability to grow and serve you better as your person. You go through mine, we go through yours, and then we go about our lives. And over the next week, hopefully you journal, right? You integrate the things that are being stated. And over the next week, you try to implement the best that you can. If you did journal after the fact, you have a list of things that you can readdress the next week. Last week, we said that this was a problem. This week, I've noticed that you did it 5 days out of 7, and I really appreciate the effort that you're putting in, and I see you, right? These are conversations that you have, and if you do the check-ins often enough, weekly, over the course of 2 months, maybe even 3, the check-ins go from an hour or 2 down to like 10 or 15 minutes, and then you get to the point where you don't need the check-ins anymore. Then you get to the point where you are so effective with your communication that go, hey, I know that I'm not okay right now. My mental health is really shit, and I'm sorry if I'm lacking in these areas. This is what I need from you this week because I'm struggling. We don't need a check-in for that. I am so comfortable with telling you what's going on because I know that you're making efforts to change and that you are my partner, that we are fucking rocking this shit till death, you and me, one flesh, better or worse, sickness and health, like you are my fucking other half. If one of us is not okay, both of us are not okay. We need to fix this shit. The more you do the check-ins, the easier it is to have those conversations. Peaches and I haven't had a legit check-in in over a year. Haven't had a need for it. We have quick conversations and go right about our lives because these check-ins are fucking valuable. They work. How do you do the check-ins without sounding like an interrogation? I don't know about you, but if my wife is sitting in my lap, she can interrogate me all the fuck she wants. It's tone. It's the connectedness. It's love. The questions are laid out. All you have to do is read them. I mean, it's not interrogating at that point. I found this list of questions. This is how they said I got to do it. I got to sit in your lap. First question is how's your mental health? First time you do it, every one of these check-ins that has ever came back to us after they've done them, first check-in has always taken a minimum of 2 hours because even when it was only 10 questions, it was a 2-hour process. There are questions that may not be relevant to your relationship. And when you download that PDF and realize that there's 4 pages of fucking questions, you can highlight the ones that are relevant to your life, give it to your person, have them highlight in a different color, and you guys can vibe it back and forth. Somebody said it's probing, not interrogating. So we can talk about probing too. You need to be a gray alien in this bitch. Sorry, butt stuff joke. Probing is about 5 or 6 times asking about the same thing to get to the real root of the problem. And you see this in psychotherapy when they are doing talk therapy and trying to diagnose you, when they say, well, how did that make you feel? Oh, well, it made me feel like blah, 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 blah. Well, why was that a case? Well, blah, 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 blah. But why? Blah, 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 blah. Well, why? I don't know. right? So now we have all of this hashed out. Now we need to figure out why you don't know. So you probe when somebody brings something to you so that you can get to the root of the problem. If somebody comes to you and they're bitching and complaining about the towels not being folded correctly, it's not the towels that aren't folding correctly. That's a symptom of a much bigger problem. And you're not seeing the bigger problem because all that's being bitched about is the towels. So if your person is not normally somebody that gets angry like that and all of a sudden they're angry, hey, I'm sorry that I did that about the towels, but what's really going on? I don't understand why you're so upset right now. Can you explain it to me? Well, why? Right? Probe. Where can we find the PDF on the check-ins? tobebetter.com. It is under the resources tab. What did I drop the ball on this week? Question is where I tell him everything that made me feel neglected and unhappy and where he fell through the whole week. Like, is this a list? Yes. What did I drop the ball on this week? If he asked you that, what did I drop the ball on this week? You tell him. You don't have to fucking dump everything that he did wrong. The goal is not to make him feel bad. It's to address the major things in life. Not folding the towels correctly is a very minor thing that needs to be corrected. Not telling me you love me before we go to bed, or, spending 8 hours on the phone or playing your video game when I wanted connection. Like, those are the real conversations because the intimacy meter's fucked up. But yes, that is how that works. What did I drop the ball on this week is you asking your person for them to give you feedback on the things that you could have done better. And then you journal about that so that you know what they told you so that you could implement it next week. Also, when you physically write things down, not typing it into a phone, but when you physically write, you are 14% more likely to remember. And if you guys are happy about a 10% discount, you should be really happy about a 14% increase in memory. I have to write down a lot of shit because of my TBI. Is the book on the resources tab up to date? I believe so. We haven't added anything to it in a while. We need to, but we haven't. It's also a two-way conversation. You're taking accountability as much as asking for it. It's both people admitting things, not just one side. That is correct. Maybe that will help him to understand that it's not against him. Yes. There's a video playlist, guys, that explains to you step by step how to do the check-in. That sounds really good for my TBI. It fucking helps. I have my little gray journal. This is the one that I keep to write quick notes for things that I want to talk about on the podcast. I have my We the People journal, which is my big journal, so that if I'm sitting here in the morning while everyone's asleep and I have a thought that I need to get out, I'll pull this bitch out and I'll write through it. And that's what I use to work through things. I have a journal sitting right there on the other table. I keep one in my backpack. I keep one in the console of my truck. I have one on my nightstand. I have one on my desk. I actually have two of them on my desk. I have one in the toolbox over there. I keep journals all over the place because I never know when I need to write something down, and I don't want to have to go looking for it because sometimes the process of me having to look for the journal will make me forget what I needed to remember. I love this, y'all. Thank you to both the tribe and Chris for the discussion. Hey, man, that's what I'm here for. I do, however, have to take a piss, and I know that there's 87 of you, so I'm going to put on the Be Right Back screen. I'm going to grab another drink, use the restroom, and then I will be right back. If you guys got to dip out, don't feel bad about saying the Irish goodbye and just taking off. I understand it's been, 3 hours, so I will be right back. All right, I'm back. Will you make a clip of explaining? Nope, I won't, because this is a live stream and going back and making clips from this is hard. I ordered a journal for my man's shop from Chris of Discord. To be better, recommended him. And I've seen the whole process and just can't wait for my man to see it customized and comes with paper refills. Love that. Yep, Chris actually made all the journals for the men's retreat that we did. I put my tattoo shop logo on it because it's a skull with cross spears behind it. Can anyone in here help me with a TISM question real quick? LOL, I'm desperate and I know there's good people in here. We can try. There's definitely a lot of us in here with autism and autistic kids. Guys, Hawaiian bread is the superior bread. After that is potato bread. Yes, Chris Dennison. I hate to look for a label, but I asked my therapist for a referral to get assessed, and she says I'm too smart, basically. You're an adult. So if you're an adult, getting diagnosed with autism is a lot fucking harder because you learn to mask. And the more you learn to mask, the harder it is to actually get diagnosed. Chris, have you had Hawaiian bread bagels? I have not. When I was in Hawaii, though, they made like a beef stuffed bun burger thing that was fucking incredible. Are you raw dogging a cold Hawaiian roll? Yeah, I am. It's not, I mean, it's room temperature. It's not cold, but it tastes good. Don't judge me, monkey. Thank God you had to pee. I had to pee for 40 minutes and didn't want to leave. That's funny. That's fucking funny. Is there a community in the Discord for this? I know there's people that are well-spoken that are diagnosed. Our Discord has something for everything. Peaches and I are both autistic, so I like to make jokes and say that I'm not, and Jenny likes to correct me and tell me how wrong I am when I say that I'm not. But yeah, there's a whole lot of us in Discord. Our Discord is a whole salad of neurodivergence. If you put all of our Discord together, we would have Megamind. But spicy brain. Y'all have peed with me like 8 times. Family, that's funny. They make loaves of Hawaiian bread now. I know I make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with it. I like potato bread too. Potato bread's really good. I didn't realize how fucking autistic our Discord was until we started doing meet and greets and one person would stim and everyone else would follow suit. Like, shit's wild. You guys want to hear something political that I heard today that's kind of new? That will either piss you off or make you want to have an argument? Because we haven't done that in a while. My kids are home, so you're plugged in and on my headphones. I've cleaned, played with the sick babies, and made 2 separate lunches because textures. You know I love this community. That's awesome. My son is autistic and very intelligent. I would say you don't need a diagnosis to do some research and see if there are things to assist you with autism-like behaviors. Don't wait for a doctor. I fucking agree. You should absolutely take your mental health and all of that into your own thing. Yes. Let's light a candle. Here we go. I can't wait to stim with you guys. That's so funny. Will there be music in the church asking for my ocarina? That's funny. Being pregnant has me peeing every 15 minutes. Danish, if your due date is accurate, your baby will be born on Peach's birthday. You know that, right? Okay, so I'm going to ask you guys a question. And if you cannot have a logic, calm conversation without getting mad, and just understand that we are all people that are trying to make sense of a really fucked up situation, don't comment, right? And if my numbers drop and this goes down to 20 or 30 people, we'll wrap up and go to Discord because it'll be the 20 or 30 people from Discord. How do you guys feel about the attempt that Gavin Newsom made in California to prevent federal agents from wearing face masks? That's my first question. My opinions on this got massively changed today, which is why I'm bringing this up, because I can have my thoughts. I need data, and the more data I have, the better educated statement or opinion I can have on something. I am not set in stone, and I am multifaceted, and I can see things from both political sides. There's a whole lot of things that go into all of this for me. So like I rock with the leftists on some things, and I rock with the conservatives on others, and this is how we have open conversation. No clue who he is. Gavin Newsom is the governor of California. He's like the Ron DeSantis, but liberal. He tried to pass a bill, it passed, that prevents federal agents from being able to wear, any police law enforcement, from wearing masks while they're on duty. All for it. Why can masked individuals get to run around with immunity? I believe it's weird that they want to cover their faces. My husband and I are both autistic. Oh, that's a different thing. We have conversations that other people don't understand, LOL. Like we skip words and understand each other. I get that. I think it's dangerous. I have not heard about this. I need to do research before I can make a proper assessment. Eesh, let's see how my response goes. Both protesters and Leo should all take the masks off. I actually agree with that too. I feel like the face masks aren't as much of an issue as agents are not being dressed in a specific way to identify what they are, a specific uniform. Okay, Danielle, Eva 14, you and I are kind of on the same page because of where we're going here. PPE masks are like ski masks, or like ski masks, any mask. So aren't you not allowed to cover your face while you have a firearm? I don't know the answer to that. Okay, so here's where I am on this. At first, I was like, I personally have a friend that works for the DEA. He is somebody that serves warrants after buying drugs, and in order for him to do his job, he has to cover his face. So from my initial standpoint, my initial argument in all of this was that it is a safety thing for the officers, and if they are working undercover, being able to cover their face totally makes sense while they are serving warrants. And that was my standpoint, because I understand that my friend needs to be safe while doing his job, and his job is dangerous. I didn't go anywhere past that because I didn't have enough information to have like an honest opinion. I then did some research this morning because of something that I saw on YouTube, and there are people who are buying tactical style clothing off of websites, could be Amazon or whatever. They are buying plate armors, and they are getting firearms, and they are using this opportunity of chaos to present themselves as officers and are kidnapping people. And I saw this shit because there was a whole lot of things that were going up on YouTube over the last few nights about how people are being abducted, and they're being, basically grabbing and taken to facilities, and people are disappearing and all of that shit. And I wanted to know more about that because the government does have the ability to make its citizens disappear thanks to George Bush and Obama, right? So like, and I think Biden might have had a hand in that too. There's a whole lot of laws that have been instituted for our freedom, our safety, which removes our freedom. That's a whole different conversation. So I'm doing this research on this shit. And apparently this is not just like a once or a twice thing. There have been a lot of fucking people that are buying the gear and doing this. And you guys know that California is the #1 state for human trafficking. So to have people who are dressed as government officials, not showing ID, not being required to show their face, stopping people in vehicles that are not marked cop cars. There have been people who have been grabbed that just disappeared, and they're saying that it was ICE agents that do it. And because of this, we have no idea if that's actually an ICE agent or a federal agent or just some random person pretending to be an agent. There are videos that you can find on YouTube of civilians dressed as officers being questioned, like, let me see your badge, what's your badge number, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, only to be chased down for people to realize that that's not a federal officer. Saw something else today about somebody that was detained, because you can be detained indefinitely without any quote unquote due process. You have a process, but it's not, you don't get the same rights afforded to a U.S. citizen if you're not a U.S. citizen. It's a whole different conversation. But I saw something else where an ICE agent had somebody in detention for, it was a couple months, and was sexually abusing them, and he just got sentenced to 24 months in prison because of it. Guys, I am not a government dick rider. When I tell you that I have a true hatred for the government, I fucking do. And I don't just listen to one news source. I listen to multiple, and I try to find, my middle ground of where I think is right and wrong. When you look at the people who are currently holding positions of power in the government, a lot of them have financial interest in private detainment facilities where these people are being held. And every inmate or detainee is being paid a certain amount of dollars to the facility through the government, because it takes money to keep these people there. Those numbers are obviously inflated because it's a private institution. There's a whole lot that goes into that. Not to mention the amount of money that they make off commissary and all of that shit. I had never once thought about the fact that there are people that would be buying effectively buying, I don't want to call it SWAT gear, but buying police style uniforms and pulling people over to grab them and put them into human trafficking. Isn't that fucking insane? Derek said, love the country, hate the government. Man, I agree. I've actually said that to a lot of people. People will come to me and we'll have conversations because I believe in the Constitution. I believe that we have the right to pursuit of happiness here. And like, there's a whole lot that I stand for when it comes to adhering to the Constitution. But I don't trust our elected officials at all. At all. The juvenile system is even scarier in some ways. I believe that. I've been saying this. People thought I was crazy. It's not crazy when you think about it. I actually personally stopped somebody from taking a kid in a Walmart parking lot once. You would be surprised at how common these things are. And people that live in somewhat bad neighborhoods are so used to paying attention to their surroundings to keep them safe that they're on such high alert worrying about them that they're not worrying about the other people. That's why we get videos of people getting snatched up all the time. This shit is fucking wild. How do you feel about people pressuring content creators to soak out and take a side? I think that if content creators do that and pick a side because they're being pressured to do that, that's their own weakness. I will never take a side anything politically. You will never hear me taking a political stance because I don't believe in the political system. I don't believe that any of this is real. I think that there are so many fucked up things happening in our government, regardless of the political party, that they're all doing it. And they're all doing it to different degrees. And as long as they're continuing to work the way that they're working and doing what they're doing, I can't stand by that. I saw, you guys, I don't know if you know who Ron Paul is. When Ron Paul was running for office, like I was staunch. Like it was the only time in my life I ever had a presidential candidate sticker on my car. Like I was fucking for Ron Paul. And had he gotten to office, I think we would have a very different country than we have right now. But his son, Rand Paul, is I think he's a Republican, a registered Republican senator from Kentucky or Texas. Kentucky? Where's Rand Paul from? Texas? I don't remember. But he stood in front of Congress and is listing off all of these things that we're sending money to. And like, we spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on like really stupid things and $1 million on other things. And one of the things was they gave cocaine to frogs to find out if it made them croak differently or made them gay. We can't even get a psilocybin research with veterans. We tell veterans that it's safe enough to send you into battle where you could potentially die, but doing a psilocybin treatment for your depression and PTSD afterwards is too dangerous for you. But we can send millions of dollars to a government program so that they can test cocaine on frogs to find out if they ribbit differently and if it makes them gay. What the fuck? It's crazy to me. Absolutely crazy to me. Hey, we lost no viewers talking about politics. That's because it's intelligent shit. Turn the freaking frogs gay. Oh, for fuck's sakes, the stem is back. When you guys realize that the political system is just designed to make us believe that we have an option, and realize that the truth of all of the political system is that they are our oppressors, it changes the way that you feel about the government and the way that you handle politics. And it makes it really fucking hard for people who dick ride a political party to have an argument against you. I know not everyone is religious, but this is definitely a world that has lost the plot with God, and it's terrifying. Evil is prevailing at a horrifying rate, and people are just leaning into it. If you change the word religious to spiritual, I would agree. I think religion is a doctrine. It's indoctrination. It is another form of suppression. The only difference between religion and government is the deity. One is a president and the other is, the Catholic Church or whatever, doctrine you believe in. I can't wait. I checked my bank account this morning because I've been waiting for the funds to get taken out from our lawyer for our church paperwork, and it came out this morning. So I'm very, very, very excited. I think that we will have our church established by the end of February. Dan Crenshaw is the only politician I like or respect. Did you see that he tried to sue the Sean Ryan show because Sean Ryan said that he was having parties and spending extravagant and making millions of dollars while in office instead of serving? I have no respect for any politician that's making millions of dollars while we're struggling. All of them that are in there doing fucking backroom deals and investing based off of their own interest because they have information that we don't have. If you go into office and you're making $160,000 a year as a politician when you're supposed to serve and protect and do for us, and while you're in there, you're gaining hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in office, I can't respect that. You're doing fucked up shit off the information that you're giving while we're back here struggling. And he unfortunately, he's one of those people. I actually used to have a lot of respect for Dan Crenshaw too. Him trying to sue Sean Ryan sent me down a whole ass rabbit hole of the things that he's doing. He's doing the same shit that Nancy Pelosi's doing. There's actually a bill being pushed right now where they're trying to make it so that politicians can't trade stocks. And I think that that's part one. I think part two would be making it so that their partners can't either. And if they're not willing to have their husband or wife sign off to say that they're not going to trade stocks while they're in office, they shouldn't be allowed to run. This entire thing is a money scheme. Like you look at them sending, hundreds of millions of dollars to Uganda for condoms and sex ed classes. Like that is money going to another country just to have it kicked back, like money laundered. There's no reason for us to be doing that shit. It doesn't help us at all. You should discuss all the shit going on in New York and their wonderful governor. I can't get into that because I haven't been following New York closely enough. I've been following what's going on in Minnesota and following what's going on in California. I followed New York a little bit. I stopped following the New York thing as much as I was because I was only really interested in the Venezuela protests. There's a whole lot of shit going on in Iran right now, and there's a lot of fear and all of that because Russia made a very, very clear if we get involved in what's going on in Iran, it's going to be a very big problem for us. And like, I take that as a nuclear threat. So I paid attention to that for just a little bit, but yeah. I feel you, Bill. The whole Charlie Kirk murder has a lot of people off the rails. You know what? The only thing I got to say about the Charlie Kirk murder is that he was murdered for his freedom of speech. And whether you agree or disagree with what somebody's saying, they have the right to say it. And the moment that we start suppressing people is the moment that people lose their ability to talk. And when we as a nation are no longer able to air our grievances without the fear of murder or imprisonment, we have lost. As a nation, we have lost. So whether you agreed with Charlie Kirk or hated what he said, the fact that he was murdered for his freedom of speech is fucking scary. And like all of the Republicans who were like, I can't believe they did this, that he was killed in front of his, he was a father, he was murdered for his thoughts, blah, 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 are the same ones who are saying that this chick fuck around and found out and got exactly what she deserved in Minnesota. Where did all that compassion go? I know a lot of people don't have this option or can't for whatever reason, but getting off of social media was a godsend for my mental health. I fucking believe that. I would 100% fucking delete my TikTok tomorrow if I thought we would not lose our following because of it. No deaths should be celebrated. I fucking agree. A loss of life, that I take that back. Offenders, people who diddle little kids should be publicly executed on pay-per-view. And the proceeds from the pay-per-view should go to the families of the victim or to the victim themselves. Beyond that, I don't think that there's ever a cause for a loss of life. We are so fucking divided. It's insane. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I don't understand how we can get to the point that we hate each other so much and not realize what's actually happening in the process. You guys think that there's not like laws and bills being passed while all of this is going on in Minnesota, while all of the news is going on about Iran, Minnesota, California, all of this ICE shit. You think that there's not going to be a whole lot of things that went under the radar that is going to go into effect soon? You're crazy. I have a teenage son that's more conservative and a daughter who's more liberal. I encourage both of them to believe what they want, but to know why, and always support freedom for others to speak. I love that. I love that. We're weak or divided. That's the point. It is the point. I don't agree. Child killers, I agree with. Sorry, I didn't see that. I just saw killers, and I was like, I don't agree with that one, Danish. I don't think that it should apply to people who commit murder, because if that was the case, everyone who committed murder would be put to death. I do understand that people who get life sentences become a burden on the financial system, and it's a tax thing, and there's a whole lot of things that go on with that. But on the murder aspect and having people put to death for death row or whatever, I'm not saying that there's always that everybody that's locked up is a justified killing, but I think that there are things that happen, like walking in on your daughter being molested. Like I would hate to see a father go to the death row because he eliminated somebody that was touching his kid. There are times that would absolutely not be a thing. I also think that if people have done really horrific shit and they're on death row and they have to live out their entire life behind bars, putting them to death row is an easy out for them, and it reduces the punishment. I also think there's a whole lot we can talk about DNA and people that were accused of things that were never really proven that they were them. You know what I mean? Yep. Anyways, let's change the subject because now I'm starting to depress myself. You guys ever watch the movie Pump Up the Volume with Christian Slater? when I was a teenager, I wanted to be Christian Slater when I was a kid. Not a teenager, but like as a kid. I thought he was the coolest guy ever in the 80s. He was a skateboarder and Gleaming the Cube, and then he did his own little radio show where he was like such a rebel, even though he was a quiet nerd, and he had a whole alter ego and got the chick. And like, I feel like Christian Slater with my little microphone talking to you guys. The only difference is that I can see that you're talking back to me and you're not hanging out in a football field in your pickup trucks. We need more reform in the jail system to set those up better to help good addition to society and contribute beneficially. I fucking agree. You guys don't even want to get me started on the prison system. As somebody who spent time behind bars, I have a lot of fucking opinions on the prison system. Hand 6559. No, should I watch it? It depends. Like it's a 90s. I think may have been even like a late 80s, early 90s movie about a kid who moves from somewhere to Arizona, and his parents bought him a shortwave radio so that he could talk to his friends back in New York or wherever he was from. And he found a way to like broadcast radio shit, and he created an alter ego so that he could have a voice. And it changed the trajectory of the high school. I fucking love that movie. That's still one of those movies that I'll watch every time it's on. Absolutely love that movie. So yeah, I would say watch it. It's called Pump Up the Volume. You might even be able to find it on a streaming service. I know for a while there it wasn't. Worked very closely in a couple prisons in Maine with service dog training programs, and I seen it change some of these men and women for good. I love reform programs for the right ones. Do you like Jason Statham? Just saw that he has a new movie coming out and it looks good. I'm not a big like martial arts action movie guy anymore. I think that we are past the heyday of martial arts films. I think they're more action now and they're not really martial arts. But yeah, he it's not bad. I enjoyed Crank. That was pretty exciting. I hope all of you ladies in the chat talking about how hot these actors are single, because I'm sure that your man wouldn't be excited about you being in here talking about other people being attractive. Just saying. Oh, man. You ever watched a movie called I Origins? It sounds familiar. I may have seen it on like a streaming service, but not actually watched it. What's it about? Your movie recommendations are the best. What Dreams May Come was the best. What Dreams May Comes makes me fucking cry like you wouldn't believe. Top 3 cry movies. Mr. Holland's Opus. That movie fucking wrecks me. Like, I don't care how many times I've seen that movie. It will make me cry every time in different parts for different reasons. That movie is so fucking good, and it is so like an underrated movie. P.S. I Love You, another great movie, makes me cry all the time, and What Dreams May Come. Those are my top 3 in that order. If I need a good cry and like I can't just get it out on my own, those are my go-to. If you guys haven't watched Mr. Holland's Opus, I really recommend that movie. It's not like a love story. It is a movie about a music teacher who is trying to create his opus. He's writing his life's work while trying to teach high school, and it goes from Vietnam all the way up to the 90s. And some of the kids that he taught ended up going to war and coming back, and like it's going through the decades. All the while, he's trying to be a family man and a father to a deaf son who has a love for music that doesn't have a connection. And like, it is such a phenomenal movie. Green Mile's a good one. That's definitely a cry movie too. We send the top 3 cry movies in Discord. Yeah, if I remember. A Walk to Remember gets me every time. That's a good movie too. What else? What are other good movies that that are not super popular that I would recommend to people? Movies that I would watch every time it comes on, no matter what. Did you guys see the new Predator movie? A Beautiful Mind Destroys Me. Oh man. So fun fact, I had a bout in my life where I was actually audibly schizophrenic. And A Beautiful Mind fucked me up when I saw that. John Q. Oh my God. John Q is a phenomenal movie. Oh my God. I can't believe I forgot about that. That one makes me cry too, but that one's just good. Just good. That is fucking, damn, that's a good movie. Obviously, some criminals are not fit for reform. Serial killers probably not going to be the reformed well enough to contribute to society and be a safe citizen. I think serial killers shouldn't be in the prison system. I think they should be in a mental hospital. Predator Badlands was actually pretty good. That's the new one, right? That's the one where the little runt alien goes to another planet to get the thing. The Pursuit of Happiness, another great movie. Will Smith has another movie called 7 Pounds. Oh, you just said it right after I did. Will Smith movies back in the day, man, they were tearjerkers for sure. Yeah, that new Predator movie was actually pretty good too. That was a nice little watch. Yep. All right, guys, I've been on for almost 4 hours at this point. I'm going to go for another 15 minutes, and then I'm going to wrap up, take a break, and then I'll come back later tonight, depending on what's going on. I want to maybe try to get some video games in today. I have to get some more of the Dokudo principles together. I have work to do, so as much as I've enjoyed hanging out, I actually do have to get shit done. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. That's not a bad one. That's the Jim Carrey movie, right? I had a hard time with all of his movies that weren't comedy because he was typecast for me. He will always be the goofy guy. So watching him in something where there's no humor, like what was it, the 23 movie or whatever that was called, where he was obsessed with the number 23. How did I miss this? Stuck in bed with a pinched nerve. That's rough. You've missed almost 4 hours of us hanging out. Make sure to eat lunch. I did. I had those two Hawaiian rolls. I won't eat again until tonight. I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Oh no, I actually had breakfast this morning. I had a fajita this morning for breakfast. So I actually ate. And then I had my 2 rolls. I won't be doing anything else until tonight if I decide to eat again. What games do you play? Just Call of Duty. We have a server in our Discord for gaming, and I'll get on there every once in a while and play with people. If there was one situation that never changes, but everything else is good in a relationship, how do you get past it or work through it? You weigh that against what everything else is in your relationship. If that one situation never changes and it's something that is absolutely detrimental for your fulfillment or joy in life, and you can't get over it, that's the answer. If you are happy and fulfilled in every other aspect in your life and this one little thing is a problem, like a thorn in your side, you just let it go. Because fucking 9 out of 10 ain't bad. It's been great. Thank you so much for this live. I have water. It's got electrolytes in it. Is there a schedule for lives? We go live every Wednesday on YouTube. Otherwise, all of the live streams are Patreon. They are when we do them. I am going to be probably going live again on Patreon. I was live yesterday on Patreon for over 4 hours, almost 5 hours. So I'll probably be going live again tonight. It just depends. If you like punk, I will always watch Another State of Mind. Man, watching Social Distortion in the beginning of the year is so cool to see. Hey, maybe I can get my husband interested with COD since that's what he does for free time. I mean, if you're in the Discord, getting him in the server, if that's what he wants to do, there are people who play. How are you handling life without Peaches? I miss her. I'm fucking bored and I miss her. What electric lights are you using? I have no idea. She bought them. I just squirted it in there. Loved hanging out with you today. Thank you for that. It was enjoyable for me as well. My guy just got home. Going to see how his day was. Good shit. Good shit. Tell him you love him. Thank him for working. Everyone flood the chat with one positive thing that happened today. That would be cool. Yesterday's Patreon live was awesome. Yeah, if you guys aren't a member of our Patreon, now is the time to go sign up. I will be going live again tonight on Patreon. It'll be a much smaller chat. I think we were at like 30, 40 people all night yesterday. We do a lot of live streams over there. A lot of content that we do, everything that we do gets recorded live in front of Patreon, whether it's, Am I the Asshole, Voice of the Broken, whatever. Does Peaches know she can swim with a whale shark at the Georgia Aquarium? She does not. I mean, I don't know if she knows it or not. I didn't know that. I can't speak for her in that situation. Glad I could catch this live while doing the dishes. Thank you for the time today. Hey, everyone, am I late? You're very late. We're actually just now starting to wrap up. You're 4 hours late. So you're way late. If you do any super early morning lives, maybe on a Monday or Tuesday morning, LOL, those would be the end of my night shift. I did a 5 o'clock morning live, doing a Voice of the Broken thing like a week ago and only had 2 people in there, but I did it. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. I'm going to go and relax for a little bit. And I will at the Discord a little bit later on when I get back on to do another one if I go live again. Have a great day, guys.